Hello, everybody. We are
What's
live.
up?
It's Monday Night Legacy. Welcome to the twitch.tv/Card Kingdom channel where we're bringing you 4 rounds of Legacy straight out of Mox Boarding House Ballard here in Seattle, Washington. I'm Jake McCune, and today I've got Connor Fultz with me,
What's up?
otherwise known as Lomer Boy, out on
The
these
one and
streets.
only.
Big 4-color lone player online. Connor is known for helping a number of people new to the deck out, and that's a really cool thing that you do for the community.
That's me.
We got pairings up right here, and we got a number of people here tonight. Looks like 38
That's a lot.
folks showing up, which is a really good, healthy number for us this week. We've been in mid-20s otherwise.
Yeah. Especially last week pre-Horizons. So.
Yeah, and pretty much pick of the litter here. I'm taking a look. Let us know if you guys are, if we're sounding good, by the way, as we get started. Let us know if stream's good.
Yeah.
I'm just going to start doing that at the start of the stream because, like, we've had a couple issues with startup recently, and it's just like, let's get those out of the way. Really, sky's the limit on some of these matches here. We could pick Aiden. We know he's a 4-color lone player.
We could pick Aiden.
We could go with, geez, this is just a lot of good matchups.
Lots of things to pick from.
Yeah, I honestly just kind of want to go with, like, table 1 or 2. Greg Mitchell's always a solid player. I have no idea what Nick Barreca would be on.
Let's see what Lee's doing. Jim and looks like Jim and Dwayne is another one.
Let's just go with table 2 to start.
Cool.
I think it'll be solid to see Greg. Let's go with table 2. Yeah, table 2. See if they want to get on camera. Greg Mitchell is always fine
Seattle
being on camera.
staple.
Yeah, I mean he's been playing up here forever.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna dial in some info on this. Hopefully they get their things right.
Do we know what Greg's been playing lately?
No.
Find out. What's up, Azure Shock?
As this is round 1, and this is a regular REL event, we don't have deck lists, so we're going to wait and see what these players are on for the night. We will adjust on the fly.
We're going to find out. It's a surprise.
And then honestly, after round 2, we should have a rough meta spot as well. So, that's good.
Sick.
Hoping that these players are sitting down at the match. Let's take it down there and see. Sounds good. We even got our sides right.
We're ready to go.
Greg Mitchell with the Google backpack.
The Crucible playmat. That's hot.
That's a cool one. That's an Eternal Weekend playmat from some year. Greg Mitchell goes every single year, so.
Sick.
Heard it's on Halloween this year, which is an interesting timing, but.
I have the Goyf Eternal Weekend playmat, which is kind of sad now that Goyf is like unplayable everywhere. But
hey, it's the
long live Goyf anyway.
It's the state of the game, I guess. Yeah, Goyf
is 2-mana bears are just like not good anymore, I guess.
I think it's more that it just gets outclassed by
everything.
Gurmag Angler.
Yeah.
It's really Gurmag Angler.
Yeah.
Because, like, it fills the exact same slot of cheap, 5 power, basically, cheap 5 power, that you really couldn't get anywhere else before Gurmag Angler got printed.
Accurate.
Yeah. So.
I still love Goyf, though. Forever.
Oh, me too. It's a great card.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's even a good foil to Gurmag Angler in certain matchups where you know you're going to consistently get above, just making it a 5/6, right?
Yeah.
So it's not bad. It's certainly been popping up in Legacy sideboards sometimes out of these green-based mid-range or aggro decks.
He's playing
Grindier.
bug list sometimes.
Yes, exactly.
Too,
so. Yeah.
It's not like entirely dead, but
yeah, it's just the role that it plays often was fulfilled in black-based decks, and those black-based decks no longer need to splash green for Tarmogoyf.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're playing a 2-power creature in Legacy,
decks,
it's like Stoneforge and now Arcanist and Pyromancer and Snapcaster. It's just like
people used to call Tarmogoyf the best blue creature as a joke. So basically, I think that role's been relegated to Gurmag Angler now.
Yep.
It's technically a blue card because what black deck is going to play it that's not playing blue cards?
Hey, one of my favorite decks of all time was Temur Twin.
Oh yeah,
it was Rug Twin. That was
Is Legacy basically a 3-turn game? It is not. The short answer is sometimes, but not as often as you would think. So
it's really quite rare, actually. Like you have combo matchups, sure, but like the games are quite grindy. I think that's a misconception that people have.
Yeah, it's sort of like
I think it's a slower format than Modern is now. Actually,
exactly. It is. As far if you were to just compare the two, It's absolutely a slower format than Modern
Yeah.
at this present time. Even though it does have decks that can conceivably go off on turn 1, those percentages are pretty low, and there's also a lot of valves in place to keep those decks in check, like Force of Will.
Well, Legacy has like way more answers than Modern, so that's part of it.
Yeah, indeed. So we may or may not see some of that happen. Certainly, you can show and tell in Emrakul on turn 2, and your opponent may not have anything for it. But
yeah,
those games kind of are like, you know, they're fewer and far between than you would think.
It's really Force of Will, right? I mean, that's like Force of Will and Daze are like the equalizers of Legacy.
They're both very key spells in keeping people from basically taking the early turns of the game by the reins, right? Yeah. Just like there's a lot of crazy stuff you can conceivably do, and those 2 cards keep them in check. What Spicy Pretty Greg bring today? We are about to find out.
Find out, Hackbert. You never know. He's always on some. That is
absolutely why we put him on camera.
He has blue cards.
It might just be miracles. I don't know.
Could be miracles.
He certainly might be
Double Force.
Yeah,
Terminus?
This is miracles. Yeah,
right?
He certainly might be getting ready.
Triple Force
for the MCQ that is coming up in relation to the Grand Prix.
Greg has a Triple Force hand, so that's something.
Notably, Greg did go to the finals on Miracles at the most recent 1K, so doesn't surprise me that much that he is still wheeling and dealing with this deck.
We have Flooded Strand over there. What do we got from Nick?
Oof. So Greg has
some red
kept
cards.
A 1-land Brainstorm, and this is going to be a very key Brainstorm here.
It is. It might. I think.
Whoa, we found lands and Brainstorms, but no fetches.
So it looks like Nick's on.
Oh wow, wait, no, those are just Ponders.
Yeah.
Yeah. Greg is on a slow one here.
Greg is on a slow one. He's got Triple Force of Will, though.
It's true, yeah. So he's on a slow one with insurance.
Yeah, so Nick is on, I believe, Blue Red Delver. He's got a Pyro in his hand. So this matchup's actually pretty sweet. It's an interesting one.
Yeah, especially now with Greg on a bit of a stumbling start. He was, I think this is what you do when you're kind of trying to test the limits of your deck, and you are a deck with a ton of cantrips. As you can see, Greg did find ways to dig deeper. He just didn't actually find lands. So we'll see what Nick has in store. Blue Red Delver, also a deck that's gotten a big boost here. Safe. And mostly in the form of a new card called Dreadhorde Arcanist.
Indeed, Arcanist is insane.
Yeah, it's 1 power, 3 toughness, trample, and when it attacks, you can flash back a card in your graveyard with CMC equal to its power, which is something I didn't notice at first, but is for some reason I thought it was just CMC 2 or less, but it's CMC equal to power, which is 1 or less, unless the card is pumped up, which is kind of getting too cute at that point.
Sweet Haze of Rage tech.
Really, all it's doing is flashing back Ponders and Lightning Bolts for a lot of these blue-based decks, in addition to getting in for 1, and that is proving itself to be enough to do. Did we opt? I don't actually know.
I don't think we are on the London Mulligan yet, right? Not until it's legal.
I'm guessing no. There is, they did release that if you didn't see, stores can, if they opt in, they can let their players know that they've decided to start using it, basically. I don't believe that we've done that here at Mox Boarding House.
Yeah.
That said, I'm in here at the booth, so maybe they announced that before we started playing. I don't think so, though.
So Greg, knowing that he's got a slow hand with no lands, double forces to get rid of the Pyro, because he can't answer it.
Yeah, I mean, if you do what you got to do, basically.
And still no lands.
Now he's going to be able to shuffle with this Ponder that he found, and if he doesn't find a land here, this is going to be kind of big trouble.
That's the risk, right?
He'll be running out of cards really quickly to mix.
You can keep 1-land Brainstorm hands, but sometimes this happens. Oh, got it. Right
got
up
it.
The top.
Lucky man.
That's why Ponder's a good card.
I mean, look at that pure skill right there.
Yeah, the skill.
The drawing skill is insane. It is crazy, though. 4 cards Greg got to look at in order to find his land. And on the 4th one, it was, in fact, a land.
And now Greg's still quite behind because he had to waste double force, double card.
Oh, yeah, for sure. He's still just staying in it, but he does have another Ponder to play. And so he is kind of just starting to rebuild his hand up here.
Yeah. Looks like a 4th Force of Will. So, found them all.
Yeah, nothing too great here.
He's going to shuffle again, doesn't want those things, needs lands, I assume.
I'm glad that we're starting out with this match. It does appear to be between 2 of the most predominantly talked about top decks of the format.
Yeah, it is a very apropos match, one would say.
I'm expecting to see some Narsets.
Yep.
Kind of out of the board for mixed deck as well.
Yep. Or main. I mean, Blue Red Delver can play 2 main, so.
I did see the Narset Allurin list that got posted earlier, and I was pretty hype about that because I want that deck to live. I don't want that deck to be a dead deck.
It might live.
Yeah, Narset, I think, is a good card for that deck, for
Narset is a good card in general for every blue deck, really.
Yeah.
That's another Ponder from Greg. That's the third one.
Yep.
And probably looking for an answer to this Arcanist. I think that might be a plow on top.
Yeah, I believe so. So,
Greg doesn't want this Arcanist attacking, although currently Nick has no 1-drop spells in his graveyard, so...
Yeah, he does have a way to, I think, set up...
Preordain first.
Oh, he doesn't have any cantrips.
Or Brainstorm.
Is that what is that leftmost card in Greg's hand? Can you tell? Oh, I think it's a Narset.
It's force counterspell Narset, I believe.
Narset, okay, yeah, there's Narset.
So Nick's going to Brainstorm here to set up an Arcanist attack.
Yep.
Which is, now we get to see, for all you at home, you get to see why Arcanist is pretty OP.
Yeah, it's going to let Nick see a ton of cards. I don't think Greg has any way to stop
and
this
there's a
attack.
fetch.
I'm surprised. Yeah, he knows that he could counterspell the Brainstorm, but it's like
you don't do it.
Yeah, you don't want to do it.
You gotta save your counterspell for the threats at this point.
Right. Exactly.
So Nick gets to tuck away his wasteland that he doesn't want here, and another land, fetch, attack, and then Brainstorm again.
It's pretty crazy.
Plan. Yep.
I mean, what's happening with these blue-red decks is now they're just starting to see a lot more cards because of Dreadhorde Arcanist.
Yep.
And so even though it's just 1 damage that it's getting in for, the fact that you're finding what you need is the most important
But
thing.
see, so here's the thing.
Or you're bolting.
When I get people who argue about how they want Chalice banned, I'm like, Chalice is so important to this format. Chalice, it's the great equalizer.
Chalice should only be banned if they ban Brainstorm.
Exactly. Yeah. It's so important to Legacy because of this reason right here.
Then it might be less oppressive, or then it might be less or more defensible, I suppose, because it's not. It's like Chalice is basically the floodgate or the flood stopper.
Right. For
a lot of these. Yeah. For a lot of these types of decks, right?
Yeah.
And there's just maybe if they print a different card that's another tool to fight these types of decks. Thalia certainly pulls weight, but even Thalia is not hugely impressive these days.
No.
Within the format, because the 1-mana spells are just good enough that paying 2 mana for them is often fine.
Nick's gonna get a free Brainstorm here, or free Preordain, I guess. He's gonna pick Preordain here.
Yep.
And it's just that's so much value for a 1/3/2 drop, and and it really changes how Blue-Red Delver can play against blue decks in particular. I mean, Arcanist is still weak to Chalice, so that's why it's not oppressive, but it is quite good.
Yeah.
And there's a Delver, it looks like.
Okay.
Also, the fact that it's a 1/3 just saves it from so much removal in the format.
Oh yeah, the 3 toughness is super crucial for having this card be playable. It's getting around certain removal spells, and it's also just helping it attack into certain creatures that it otherwise wouldn't be able to. Thalia, for instance.
So Greg, seeing the weakness of his hand right now, is just gonna counterspell the threat. As I said, he wanted to save that counterspell for threats rather than spells.
Yeah, absolutely. But still on 3 cards here, and I think just going to try to go for the Narset and try to catch up a little bit.
I would imagine Nick forces here, given that Greg has 1 card left in hand.
Yeah.
Yep, there it is.
Pitching the Spell Pierce, which,
Greg now just has a single force, so he's pretty... he's not in the best position.
Yeah, just too far behind. He kept a very slow hand with the potential for having a really
couldn't find that land off the first Brainstorm, right? So that kind of got him pretty far back.
Yeah, and subsequently he just didn't end up finding a lot of what he needed. He found more air, he found cantrips. It led to a Narset, it looks like, but look at that graveyard, right?
Yeah.
It's really just counter spells and cantrips.
Yep, and now Nick's just going to continue to get value, grow his hand, get card advantage, and Greg's pretty far back.
Yeah.
But I do like that Greg went to try to cast Narset. I mean, I think at that point, rather than saving it for the force, you have to just jam and try to establish something.
Yeah, I mean, what else is he going to do, right?
Yeah.
I totally agree. He's very behind in the game. He just has to make plays that kind of
do anything.
Test Nick's resources here, but he definitely knows. He definitely is kind of waiting for the moment where he may end up just scooping his cards.
Yeah, I mean, Greg's a great player. He knows what's up. He's aware that he's behind here.
He could top deck Mentor. He could try to, dig his way out that way. But Yeah.
I guess plows and now maybe, but I mean at this point Nick has so many counter spells. I'm not sure that
exactly
it's going to matter.
Yeah. Well, let's see.
So Nick is
decide what to put back here.
Brainstorming here, yeah, off the Arcanist attack.
Okay.
There's a Delver. Greg has nothing for that.
Yeah, Greg just draws, looks for the Terminus, does not find anything.
Doesn't find that Terminus off the top.
Yeah, it is true that he is playing to that though.
Yep, yeah, he's playing to something.
Yeah.
There's an AK.
Just an AK.
So I actually, that's interesting because ever since Narset was printed, AK's kind of disappeared. So
I think
curious to see why Greg's playing both, but
I think the list that they ran at the most recent, both Greg and others ran at the most recent 1K was doing both of those things. I'll look them up right now. Actually, I've got that power.
That's a good question. Do we have life totals or whatever?
You know, we. That's a great question. I can't believe we didn't notice that till now.
Yeah.
We do. They should be on an iPad. It might just be a little bit off camera, or we might need to find it.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can signal to someone about that. Otherwise, I'm not going to adjust it till game 2. Yeah. But we rest assured we will get it. And while I don't think life totals are terribly relevant in this matchup,
life totals aren't relevant in this game because Greg is just way behind. So it doesn't really matter. But
Arcanist is doing a lot of work. Yeah. I mean, it's hit for like maybe 3 damage at this point, but it's just flashing back so many spells.
Yeah, I mean, it's just continuing. There's another Brainstorm that he's going to get twice again.
Yep.
For anybody that wanted to see Arcanist in action and see why it's so good, there you go.
Yeah, here you go.
Here.
We
example 1.
We're doing it.
Yeah.
Boy, where are the results from this most latest?
Arcanist is doing serious work. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy. It's the red Bob really for that deck.
All right, so Greg Mitchell's Miracles deck. Yeah, they are still running 4 AK and 2 Narset.
Huh.
Yep.
I know a lot of lists have cut AK entirely, but not everybody.
Yeah, there's a bit of a Miracles hive mind locally, so they all kind of work with each other on their lists. But yeah, this is the list. The 4 AK list put 3 people into top 8, so... No, 4 people into top 8, excuse me.
There you go.
Yeah, it's still here to stay, man.
Yep.
It's pretty wild. A lot of tools for these blue-white decks in Legacy recently.
Yeah, and we have a very heavy Miracles meta in Seattle.
It's very interesting how people thought, like, banning Sensei's top would kill the deck or would make
it just made it reasonable, right?
Yeah,
it didn't kill it. It just was like, now it's not broken and we don't get Miracles mirrors every day.
Yeah, Felcrick's life totals are usually kept on a life pad right up the top there. Yeah, Greg's gonna pack them in. Okay.
We're working on the
Here's what I'll do. I'll go get out there and adjust it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's all good.
We're getting that handled for everybody. Though this game, it was unimportant. Nick just kind of ran away with that one. And often in this matchup, it's unimportant because either Delver's going to kill Miracles early or Miracles is going to stabilize, and you could have 20 life or 200 life, and it really just doesn't matter that much in this matchup. That looks like a blazing volley out of Nick's sideboard, which is interesting tech for like D&T, I would assume. And a Null Rod's in there, a couple Tormod's Crypts, maybe Blood Moon, a couple other cards I didn't see, Dead Gone maybe. Pyroblasts, of course, coming in here. And on Greg's side, taking out some Force of Wills, it looks like. Thinking about Teferi here. It's going to take the Teferi out. And there's our life pad. We will have it up for the next game. Both players bringing in Pyroblast here, of course, in blue mirrors. That card is obviously great. Looks like a Judgment maybe coming in, or going out, it looks like.
All right,
a couple
folks.
Cantrips.
We compromised. The life total is put into place. We're back in action.
It's like 6, 7 cards that Greg's bringing in.
I know, right?
What is he bringing in here from? Didn't see what he put in, but
Hackler, we came to a compromise on the positioning of the life pad. No, he was chill about it. He didn't know. He can't see on camera.
yeah, it happens.
Yeah. It is like, I wish we had a better angle, truly, but, you know?
It's life.
Yeah.
It's life in the big city.
We need a lot different things for that to happen. It's looking good tonight, though. Proud of it.
Yeah.
Good job, Will.
Yeah.
Yep, Council's Judgments, par for the course here.
Yeah.
I did see a Teferi Time Reveler in there still, so it does look like Greg's winning one of those.
Well, he was going back and forth on it.
Okay.
So.
Was it out of the board?
I think he was trying to take it out of the main and put it back in.
I see. Taking out some...
Oh, was that a plow he's taking out? That
seems interesting. Taking out one plow, one terminus. I guess he is boarding in all the rebs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Which does help, but...
I don't know what he's doing, really. It's like a pile of cards.
Those cards are both good against Arcanist, yeah.
Some Narset.
Well, Greg often does the shuffle his whole board in and then pull out 15.
The pro move?
Yeah, pull out his 15 card.
Yeah.
I don't even know if pros do that. Is that like?
I don't know. Some of them do.
It's just like a thing. To me, it's like a swagger move.
It's a mess with your mind move.
Sort of, yeah. It's also like helpful in actually like. It's good exercise.
I am not going to comment on Delver's board plan because I don't play blue decks, so I don't know what Delver's doing or not.
I mean, siding out bolts against Greg Mitchell, or against UW, against blue-white control seems very reasonable to me. The card really only goes 3 to the dome, and that's not really going to get you there often.
Well, it hits Jace, right?
Yeah, it's true, but some number of them.
Then how much do you really care about Jace? I don't know.
You're probably boarding in Red Blast, and you also, you have counter spells. Like, it is certainly one of the least important cards in this matchup, I think.
All right, we got our little meta sheet here.
Like, you just have to think about what cards you actually want to see against the opposing deck, and I don't think that's one of them. Kills Narset, but like, so does the Delver swinging in.
We have some Stoneblade. We got some Burn. We got. Looks like we might have Oops All Spells. That's interesting. Undoing Miracles. Some Show and Tell lands. Eldrazi Post. Elves. Goblins. Painter.
Yeah.
Prison. Some more Blue-Red Delver. Depths. More Burn.
Hopefully we can get Goblins on camera around too. I love that.
Some Maverick.
Love Maverick. Obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Aiden's on Grixis tonight.
Oh, cool.
Loam, so that's a little
getting some practice.
A little different than the norm. No Loam players. I should be playing to represent, but
yeah, I mean, there's pretty much only like 3 of them, not counting yourself. So
I know.
Low odds.
Ton of Blue-Red Delver, of course. Everybody's playing Delver right now.
Totally.
Which is feeding grounds for my deck, so that's great.
Yeah, it seems like a pretty good matchup, right?
It's a great meta for me. This is what you wait for. As a lone player, you wait for the Sneak and Show to go away and the Delver to come in, and then you're just like, that's the time, you know.
It's a good time to be piloting the deck. What are the bad times to be piloting the deck? Just when that combo's heavy? Sneak and Show?
Yeah.
I don't know why people, frankly, I don't know why more people aren't playing that against Miracles.
Delver.
But yeah, I guess Delver being bad.
Blue-Red Delver's all over the place right now. Yeah, I mean, Sneak and Show is the worst matchup, so that's the time to not play the deck.
So we have
lots of Burn
in here.
Lots of Burn too, which is interesting.
It's affordable, and we have Jeremy on it. That actually
lots of Miracles players in Seattle, so I guess that makes sense, right? Like, because Burn is good against Miracles.
I do believe that is why Jeremy Edwards brought Burn this week.
Yep.
And Burn.
I mean, in Seattle, we've always had a very heavy blue mid-range control.
Four Burn decks in the room tonight out of a pool of 38 players.
That's a lot. It's a lot of Burn. How many Delver do we have tonight? We have 1, 2, 3. 4.
Yeah.
5 Delver players. A bunch of Stoneblade, 4 or 5 Blade players.
Nick is looking at how many cards here? 4, 5? I think maybe just 6. Pondering either way, the game is afoot.
We are live. All right.
Yep. Greg playing pretty typical control. I think he just
He
kept
got land drops this time, right?
So. Yeah, I mean he kept lands and spells. This is pretty par for the course. Nick unable to deploy his Wasteland in hand, really just looking to, I think, try to develop here. Preordain is going to do that a little bit for him.
Yeah. Yeah. No turn 1 Delver. It's always nice. I always prefer Delver decks when they go turn 1 Ponder over turn 1 Delver. You know,
sure,
it's nice.
Absolutely,
it's a nice, relaxing feel.
Yeah, turn 1 Delver is pretty spooky.
Yeah.
It is like, you know, it's the time when it's least likely to flip, I guess, statistically. But it doesn't feel great.
But it's a threat on turn 1. It's backed up by days.
Oh, yeah, totally.
That's why it's a deck, right? Yep. Nick draws Force for the turn. I guess that's reasonable.
Yeah, very reasonable. Again, just looking for a threat here.
Wondering, you would think some number of forces get boarded out from both sides, but
I think so. But they still show up, you know?
Yeah. You're going to find a Pyro, so that's a threat.
Yeah.
See if he keeps these 3 or not.
Greg just has lands, Narset, and AK?
Yep.
Is that what I'm looking at?
Yep. Greg was spooked by his 1-lander, so now he kept a 6-lander.
I mean,
you know?
It seems like that's what you do with the deck anyway.
Yeah.
But it's going to mean that is Nick just willing to go here? Does he not want to crack this other fetch?
Well, he's also got Greg also has a redraw, right, with his AK.
That's what I mean. Yeah. Yeah, he just cycles AK here. Gets the engine started. That's a pretty sweet one.
That's an engine.
Yeah. Greg's going to absolutely try to land that.
He's going to slam that one.
Cantrip first.
Find a counterspell to back it up, perhaps.
Yeah, it looks like. Because he still has a land drop to make too, so he's got plenty of...
Or, like, set it up on 1 to avoid, like, a blast.
Exactly, yeah. Looking for ways to kind of know what's on top of his library, potentially. So now he doesn't have a cantrip or anything, but he can just make land drop and pass with counterspell up.
He also has a Narset in his hand, I think?
Or counterbalance on the battlefield.
Potentially a Narset?
So yeah, he has Narset in hand.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what's happening here yet. I think you want to get counterspell up first.
But he also
counterbalance up first.
He's like looking at it, but I don't think you want to play it right into a daze either. So.
Oh yeah. He could play the counterbalance into a daze.
Oh, that is a 4th.
So I'm kind of curious as to why he doesn't.
He might want to find a 1-drop or a counterspell first before he
yeah.
throws it out there. I don't know. There's the Peasy. Let's see if Greg doesn't have anything for that, so that's going to resolve.
Another AK.
Second AK off the top.
It's starting to get a little good for Greg here.
Yeah, AK, snap AK.
Snowball some of these cards.
Yep. AK is a good card in this deck. I mean, it's certainly crushed me a couple times.
Yeah, I mean, just the pure fact that you can snap it back and it just like it goes into the late game so well.
Yeah. It is bad against Narset though, so then notably that's why I think some people are cutting it.
That makes sense. I think these Miracles players have opted to just kind of trust their ability to sequence optimally here.
Yeah, well, we have some great Miracles pilots in the city.
We definitely do.
And I don't know what I'm doing with blue cards, so I trust them over me.
It's the deck that I think easily sees the most representation amongst top 8 and players in the local area.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. It was a deck I beat for the win in the Puget Sound Battleground tournament, and it was hard fought.
Yeah.
Deck is. We had a lot of good pilots here with that deck.
Yep.
So.
Yep. We have a bit of a high mind up here.
Yeah.
For sure. All right. Nick is finally taking his turn here, it looks like. So yeah, Greg doing a great job of keeping his Wasteland a dead card in Nick's hand. Pyromancer only a little bit of a threat right here, but this is where it starts to add up. That said, it all takes is 1 Terminus, I suppose, to fetch this all away, switch this all away.
Yep.
He's
going to make some dudes, draw some cards.
Oh, there's Delver. Hello.
It's a Delver and a Force and a Daze. So some spells that do things.
This all plays, I believe is the term.
Yeah.
So should work out pretty well.
So he's got double Force plus Daze in his hand. Which is nice. Now that he's deploying threats, he can have some protection here. I mean, isn't Miracles favored in this matchup? But now with Arcanist, maybe that's shifted a little bit.
I think Miracles definitely likes to play against Delver because they can just go long against like they'll just draw removal and brainstorms and removal against Delver's also counter spells. But I wouldn't consider myself a super expert on like the nuances of that matchup.
Well, me neither.
I will say that Swords of Positives and Terminus are very good against creature decks, right? Like off the bat. And the fact that Greg Mitchell is liable to have more removal spells than Nick has counter spells over the course of a game.
Yeah, no, I mean I've
never does favor Miracles.
I've played against Delver decks like a bajillion times, but I've never touched one.
Oh yeah. Oh, I mean, it feels very 1-2-3 kind of when you have a hand of Delver plus counter spell.
Yep.
You just have to remember to do the right thing.
So Nick's choosing to force this AK because he doesn't want Greg to draw stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be...
it's an aggressive Force of Will.
It's an aggressive Force of Will, but it is trading 2 cards for the potential 2 cards that Greg would draw, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, I think Nick just wants to protect his threats and figures Greg is looking for an answer.
Did he miss a Pyromancer trigger there as well?
Oh, yeah, he did.
Looks like he did. Yeah, there should be one more elemental token.
Happens.
It happens. It's regular Ariel. Well, if the players want to fix it later, they can, but like we're just going to leave that to them. Nothing too heavy on the line here.
Oh, hey, Romario, what's up, man? Good to have you here. He did miss the trigger.
Yeah, we're not in a position to be kind of judging on these games as it's basically just regular Ariel is all I'm going to say.
Yeah, it's a chill Monday night, chill Seattle Monday Legacy.
Players are having
sunny outside. It's the summer.
Make some of that happen.
We're all testing here for tournaments and stuff. It's not like a serious do or die thing.
Yep, everybody is getting ready for the Legacy MCQ that will be a part of Grand Prix Seattle. Oh yeah, days coming. Interesting. The date. Greg just chooses not to pay right away. I guess just not worth it because what is he gonna go for here? A Jace bounce?
Yeah,
no, not a Jace bounce, just a brainstorm.
So that's interesting that he didn't pay there. Maybe he just doesn't care.
I think he must just not care. He must just want a 1-for-1 with it.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, sure, use your days on that. I don't really want it to resolve. Nick only has 1 card in hand. I think Greg's main concern at this point is just finding answers to the board.
Exactly.
Because currently he's gonna die soon if he doesn't find a Terminus or a Plow or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Did he force pitching days and not days? Oh, he forced pitch days. We missed that.
Oh, wait.
I thought it was just days.
Yeah.
Never mind.
We're on top of our stuff tonight.
Yeah, clearly. I just saw the days.
You're right.
Like, oh, it's days.
I mean, looking at it in Exile right now it's obvious, but yeah, totally.
For sure.
For sure.
Our bad.
Thanks, chat.
Yeah. Twitch chat keeping us on our toes, That's what
pretty much, yeah. Oh, excuse me. All right. Lightning bolt. Wow. It's going to quicken the clock a little bit, but we are going to meet a Celestial Purge.
Celestial Purge in response to the flip trigger.
Yeah, in response to Delver trigger. That means that Nick's not going to be able to cast that Lightning Bolt. But he is going to cast a Flusterstorm. Yeah.
Get a dude.
Yeah.
Counter the Purge. Get a bolt off the top.
So this is how you would line up a win against Miracles when they are making all their land drops. Yeah. Mind you, Greg is just 1 Terminus away still from trying to wipe this up. Nick is running out of resources here in this battle.
Nick's fetching away the bolt, which is interesting. I guess he wants a more relevant card rather than just a quicker clock.
I guess he's looking for a counter spell here.
What's up, Dan? Thanks for joining. Dan Neely, resident Maverick.
Oh, yeah.
Homie in the house.
Very familiar with the MTGO handle. Got a lot of folks coming out to watch you stream.
Yeah.
This is just round 1. So
we're just beginning on this Monday Eve.
Yeah, game 2 of round 1. We will have 3 more rounds tonight for 4 total.
So Greg's going to drop to 10 here. Not quite dead on board with Nick has 8 power right now. Yeah. Greg's going to AK, which I believe is a draw 3. There are 2 AKs in the yard.
There should be 2 AKs in the yard. We're going to see. Nope.
Yep.
No Terminus off the first draw.
Yeah.
But
cards.
Yeah, cards. So now that Greg is in essentially just a race to not die.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, it's swords. It's a start.
That's something.
Yeah, it's not necessarily the.
You really want a
sweeper.
terminus or a verdict, right?
Yeah,
I mean, that's
absolutely,
the idea.
absolutely. Yeah, I don't know if Greg has verdict in his deck, but it would be nice in this position.
I mean, I know Miracles players play like one somewhere sometimes.
Yeah,
So.
definitely. It comes up. All right, pondering on this ponder here. Craig is going to keep and draw.
Gets the plow.
Yep. Ooh. Trying to figure out the next land to deploy, it looks like.
Yeah. He's already got a fetch out. There's the bulk.
Triple blue, 1 red, 1 white, and then access to a fetch for Greg.
Is that FBB vault or
I
beta
would imagine it's FBB.
Yeah. Greg's always got the pimp.
Yeah. Yeah, he is full of nice cards.
So that's a plow on the pyro.
Yep. Nick is going to have to contemplate this one. I mean, he only has the 1 card in hand. What is he looking at?
I don't know. It's a good question. He doesn't have 5 for force up. So
Right.
Not sure.
He's just saying, okay.
All right.
He will gain 2.
Gain 2
Hopefully
back.
We'll have Greg mark that on the. Oh, there we go.
Yep,
Perfect.
got
Thank
it.
you, Nick.
Yeah. It's a snap and maybe snap plow here.
Yeah, it looks like target
on the
source
Delver.
Plowshares on the Delver. And
So
then,
now suddenly Greg is right back in this.
I mean, yeah, he's got 3-turn clock against him still. Basically.
Hackbert, I would suggest you just own 4 because it's great.
Yeah, it'll. The only thing, if you're looking to, if you're patient, I don't think the card is going to see play a lot outside of Legacy. I'm not sure.
Unsure.
Yeah, unsure if it will see play in Modern.
Standard though?
It's
not a standard. Modern Horizons. Yeah.
So really, if
I'm
it
dumb.
doesn't see play in Modern, I could see the price going down a bit, but probably not much more. Probably like 15 if it doesn't see play in Modern.
I'm
but
getting.
If it does, it'd be like 30.
I mean, I'm going to own 4 foils eventually. At least 2.
Yeah. Yeah, I pulled one as well in a box. It's nice. All right. Nick is, going pondering over here.
JBH, we're talking about Ren and 6.
Yeah, the new 2-mana Planeswalker from Modern Horizons. All right, here comes Narset for Greg Mitchell. He's going to look at the top 4, find a non-creature, non-land. What do we got? I do think an AK and a Brainstorm and Terminus?
Maybe?
Yeah. No. Yep. So Greg.
I mean, Greg has Hardcast Terminus as an option now.
Yeah, it's true. You could keep it.
Yeah. Well, Vista will certainly see play in Miracles for sure. Probably 3 or 4 of them, I would guess.
All right, digressing over land drops here. We're just gonna AK, and I think this is gonna be
AK for a lot.
3, 4.
4.
Wow, 1, 2, 3.
Double Pyroblast are the fines for Greg.
Oh,
that's huge.
Moly, that's big. Yeah.
So now
you can only cast one of them at present.
Yeah.
But he gets to immediately target the Delver here. Yeah, and he's just going to nip that in the bud. He's at 4 life. There's no need to mess around here.
So now suddenly the tables have turned, I think. Although Greg is at 4, and Nick still has 2 1/1s.
So Nick is still kind of live unless Greg finds an answer to these elementals, which, I mean, he had to tuck the Terminus, right? What did he end up taking? He took that
I think he's got a plow in hand. He's going to go ahead and take the 2 here, which makes sense.
Okay.
I mean, there's no reason to plow now.
Taking 1 down to 3 does, shorten your clock, right? I believe.
Does it? I mean, he's dead to bolt either way.
That's fair. Yeah, he's just waiting.
FPB duels and white border power blast. Hey, I mean, I don't know what to say about that.
They, I'm sure they're picked for their edition or for their art.
Yeah, possibly.
Alright, Greg is going to activate Narset once more. Looks like he found another Narset.
I mean, chain him.
That's a bit of a thing, yeah.
Yeah, it's what you do.
Wow.
It's what they do. It's what the card does. The card's busted.
Yeah. First I thought it only found instants or sorcery. It was pretty wild.
It's an impulse.
Yeah. So Greg has that as an option. He could also try to land Jace here. Yeah, it's probably Koreans, right?
So what we're seeing in this match is just the effect that War of the Spark has had on Legacy.
Yeah.
Narset, Arcanist, Karn.
Yep.
The whole format's changed now.
It's been
and
a while.
We're going to change it again with Modern Horizons, and then again with London Mulligan.
I don't even know if the Modern Horizons is going to impact Legacy that
I mean,
much.
there's like 29 playable cards is what I've read.
Really? That's what you've counted out?
Yeah.
Dang, that's a lot.
Like potentially playable.
Right. Yeah, because like off the top of my head, it's really just like the Ren and 6, like
that's the best card from the
set,
set,
decks
right?
that run that card. But then like otherwise, I don't know what's gonna break in. Greg lining it up here though. Just content. Oh, it's a Fluster Storm, not a Jace.
I mean, I think there's a plow on an elemental. I think overall War of the Spark had more of an effect on Legacy than Horizons did, but I think Horizons will certainly shake things up as well. In addition to the new Mulligan rule.
So. Nick goes to combat.
Greg takes it.
Yeah, Greg has to find one more out, and I think is he going to be able to Jace bounce this token here? He's going to activate
look with Narset first. There's a plow and a Terminus.
And a Terminus, yeah. So looking pretty all right. I think he might keep this Terminus if he has the Jace in hand.
Now I think the game might be over.
No, he's just going to keep plow.
Nick doesn't have. Is going to have a hard time resolving another threat.
Absolutely, yeah. Oh, our timer is not accurate, by the way. We have 11 minutes left in round. That's all. Just letting everybody know that.
There's another Narset and another Impulse to find a Force. So Greg just chaining Narsets here.
I mean, look at all these cards he has in hand now thanks to these Narsets.
Yep, that looks like 7 cards in hand to me.
It's pretty crazy.
There's a plow on the last elemental.
Stabilizing here at 1 life, and it's almost, I mean, he can't alt Force of Will a Lightning Bolt. But other than that, he's pretty set, and Nick knows it.
Nick's done.
Nick knows it.
Yeah, Hackbird, I'm looking for foils, so that's going to set me back quite a bit. I don't know what they're going for, but probably like 100.
Yeah. So we have got 1 and 1 here.
Hondo, what's up? Good to have you in the chat. All the peeps in the house.
About 10 minutes.
Twitch chat peeps.
About 10 minutes left for game 3 here. It's a nice, healthy round 1 we've got ourselves.
Yeah, it is. It's we might have to find a backup match. I don't think we're good. Yeah. We're good to go.
I think they might end up being one of the last matches in the room by the time they're done shuffling up and ready to go. So we'll see.
Double-sided token combos. I don't even know.
There's a lot of cool ones. Every single token that isn't foil in the set is double-sided. So yeah,
that's hype.
It's hard to figure out what's what until you spread them all out and then look at each side individually. I don't know if they're preset or random or what. I've got Sarah emblems on the back of 2 different types of tokens.
Is there a Merit Lage Ren emblem? I don't know.
I have no idea. Yeah, Hackberg, good question. I don't know what the combinations are for the sides.
I do need a Ren emblem though. I am so excited to retrace some.
I don't know if I got one or not. I'll go check. I'll check.
Infinite Swords to Plowshares, guys. That's it's a great time.
Yeah, it's cool. I hope it sees. I hope like a Naya shell pulls up around it too. I think that'd be awesome.
I'm sure there will. Junpox is another one I've thought of.
Sure. Yeah. I think a lot of people went to that as well.
There will be a shell for that card that is not 4-color loan.
Right.
That someone will make. That will play for.
That will play.
I mean, I'm sure.
A turn 1 Ren deck is probably going to be a deck. Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that evolution.
Nyalome is sweet, but it's so hard to play that deck because you're missing Abrupt Decay, and Abrupt Decay is just like so important. So we're back. Game 3. Nick is double fetching. Greg's got an island passed.
Yeah, pretty standard stuff until we see cards hit the battlefield here.
Nick's gonna fetch for Falk Island.
Yeah, just blue-red here, no black splash.
Yep.
It is interesting to see it's obviously Grixis lists are running Arcanist as well, so what will end up being better is kind of to be determined by the numbers, I guess.
So Greg's going to just go ahead and try to force this Pyro. Nick's thinking about forcing back.
All right, so we already have reports in the chat.
Now Greg's going to pierce it.
As some people did predict, Wrenn and 6 showing up in Rug Delver as a threat/tool.
Yeah, I'm sure Wrenn will see play in Thieves. It'll also see play in Rug Delver. I knew it was going to see play in Rug Delver. It's too good for that deck to not see play there. I've also been running really hot with Loam running Wrenn, so I think that card's going to have definitely going to have an impact in the format.
Card's going to have a big impact.
Yeah.
Best to get your copies now.
Yeah. I think the card is great for Rug Delver, being able to recur wastelands and also like defend yourself from other people's wastelands.
Yeah.
And hit opposing delvers and stuff and make it easier for your cards to get through. Right? That is, yeah. I mean, just Rug certainly benefits.
Having it help you hit your land drops too.
Yeah.
Yeah, card's pretty nutty.
Yeah, just hitting land drops makes it insane. Like, that's why it's so good in Loam. Just being able to, like, you get free Mox Diamond on turn 1. Like, that's ridiculous. It's just, like, it's makes you feel like you're playing Vintage.
I could see the red Delve card popping up, but in case...
So, Greg, we're getting into a fluster battle on this Brainstorm. Nick wants to resolve his Brainstorm, and he will.
Yep.
The red Delve card? What's the red Delve card?
It just shoots a creature or planeswalker for 5 for 1 in red. And Delve.
Yeah.
It's like
I don't know how much play that'll see. You want to rebuy Barbering every turn? Yeah, I mean, lands could do that.
Yep. Yeah, your deck gets to rebuy the black one, right?
Yeah, we have to play the black one because it's just hard to play a mono red source in a 4-color deck.
Yeah. All right, Terminus here for Greg Mitchell off the top. Going to fetch in response to the Miracle Trigger.
Yep. And trying to get rid of this Delver here, which looks like he will.
Yep. And now a Brainstorm.
Yeah, there's a shell. We were talking about Tarmogoyf earlier, and if Wrenn makes Rug Delver competitive again, that's a Tarmogoyf shell, right?
Absolutely, so you could still see like 2 Tarmogoyfs show up in a Rug Delver type deck.
Yeah, if you're running 3 Lily, it's kind of hard to play a mono red card or mono red land in that deck. So
for sure.
As fun as Infinite Barbrings is, let me tell you what's more fun: Retracing Punishing Fire, so you never get Surgical. Ooh, that's a fun one.
Oh, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's a much faster win con than Groving. So
right.
I could gush about that card all stream though, so I don't want to like talk about it forever. But I love that card so much.
Yeah, it'll be exciting when we get to see it on camera in a couple weeks.
It's potentially my favorite card in Legacy now. Just really quickly, it's become. I certainly have a love affair with it very fast. Greg's going to play Narset here. He's going to look for stuff. Getting another Narset, so we're chaining Narsets again. Nick landed an Arcanist, and he's going to try to bolt the first Narset.
Yep. Only going to get 1 card.
Oh, Loam won't drop white, bro. He can't drop Knight of the Reliquary cards.
Yeah,
too good.
It's just a 4-color deck.
I think you just need your own shell for Wrenn. Jund is certainly a possibility, but the deck would look completely different.
Yeah.
Nick's going to get the value out of Arcanist here on the attack. Greg's not going to answer it yet.
Yeah, I like the idea of Jund, Wrenn, and 6.
It's just a different deck, right? I mean, Loam needs Knight of the Reliquary to function. So.
Yeah, it wouldn't be relying on. I don't even know. I don't know. So much stuff works well together in that deck.
Do you think Wrenn and 6 doesn't play Loam?
I think he's not talking about the deck Loam.
Oh.
like Rin and 6 and a Jun Shell might not necessarily play.
Oh, got it. Yeah. That makes sense.
It would
Yeah,
be, like,
you would have a more aggressive version of a deck with Bob-omb, for sure.
Yeah, like you could still run
Yeah.
Mox Diamond and just like
Well, I was
run
thinking
3
like
or 4
Ren with like Smallpox
Yeah,
is
exactly.
like hot.
Yeah. So you go turn
So-
1 Ren, Mox Diamond.
Yeah,
Off of
Smallpox.
Mox Diamond, yeah, and then turn 2
Get
Smallpox.
your land back.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Greg's gonna plow this Arcanist or try to.
Yeah, staying thoroughly ahead here. Not that Nick doesn't have tools.
Ren and Pox. Yeah, I definitely want to see if somebody makes that a thing. Bob Long's talked about it. I know Dan. I don't know if Dan's still in the chat, but Dan's talked about it.
Yeah, seems like a cool opportunity.
Yeah, Nick's gonna fetch here.
Okay. The Arcanist is stuck around for now. And looks like Nick's just sitting on what? Oh, a Brainstorm. Okay. All right. Arcanist gets in. We're going to flash back just a bolt.
Yep.
Go upstairs at
Yep.
Greg. Oh, wait. Did this?
Or I think it hit
Just hit the Narset. Yeah, never mind. Got the
Yep.
Narset off the table.
Yeah. See, this is why you see Arcanist is so good, because Nick is really doesn't have that many cards in his hand, but Arcanist just gives him that extra advantage, and Greg doesn't currently have an answer for it. And so it really lets Nick kind of stay in the game here. Greg is going to snap plow.
All right. Not a bad position for Greg now.
Yep.
Oh, but hey, look at that.
Wow. Second Arcanist. Greg is...
Okay.
that resolves.
Yeah. Sometimes they just have it.
Yep.
Alright, fetching away.
Shardless Rug with Arcanist. That's interesting. Run, Ren, Arcanist, Sergeant's Agents, Visions.
That seems,
the Rhino card.
That seems pretty
off
cute.
Suspend. Yeah, it's a cute one.
I do like that Rhino
Maybe
card.
make it Waterfalls with some Blood Braid in there, too.
Yeah. That just sounds to me
Fun times.
like you bringing back Waterfalls. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Waterfalls with Ren.
Yeah.
Okay. What do we got? Brainstorm is what we got from Nick.
And I think the other thing to look out for is, depending on how much of an impact Ren does have, you might see the playability of cards like Baleful Strix go way down.
Yep. So. Totally. We now have a solid answer to 1 toughness creatures that sticks around.
Yep.
Yeah. Makes Baleful Strix looks less good for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Nick gonna attack him. Flashback Brainstorm. Greg Mitchell's gonna Spell Pierce it here.
Yeah, Shenanigans is another card that's
oh yeah,
pretty good.
That is also pretty good.
Oh, Romario, now's your chance. You can play Rug Delver with Ren and answer some Strix, you know?
Yep, absolutely.
So Nick's landed a Delver, Pyro, and he's got the Arcanist on board. Greg's brainstorming. Kind of in the similar position we were last game, where Greg's looking for answers to Nick's board and trying to stabilize. I mean, that's kind of how this matchup goes.
Yeah, Nick really went from 0 to 10 on threats here.
Yeah, Greg's going to land a counterbalance.
No
Delver
reveal.
does not flip.
Yeah, drew a
so
flooded
that's
strand.
good for Greg.
We'll have to see.
Nick's going to go to attacks. He's going to get the Arcanist trigger here. Nothing, looks like nothing to get from the graveyard, though.
Yeah.
So Greg will just take the 2. So now Arcanist is currently just a 1/3. Greg will fetch down to 7 here, grabbing a Plains.
Indeed. Not much else for me to do till we... Ponder. A lot of folks having fun in the background. We are in the middle of a game store. It's a lovely reminder to you folks at home listening in. Board games are being played enthusiastically near feet from our microphones.
It's true. It's a cool part about being in a board game store that plays Magic, that we can bring you paper Magic rather than just streaming Moto.
Yeah, definitely appreciate everyone tuning in to watch.
Greg's hand is Counterspell and Brainstorm currently.
Yep, showing us, doing us a solid.
Giving us the hand. And he's got an active counterbalance. Nick has 1 card in hand.
I mean, if Nick flips this Delver, he has lethal.
Right, well, Greg's got a...
he's got a blocker.
He has Brainstorm, he's got a blocker.
He's got a Brainstorm,
he can find answers.
Yeah, maybe, could Brainstorm into a Terminus even.
Yeah. Looks like the draw was another Delver.
Yeah.
No flip. Nick debating how he wants to attack here. He's going to swing all out. Greg thinking about how he wants to block. He's going to try to trade with Pyro here. Take 3. Or 4.
Yep. Nick trying to figure out what his next move is. Did the Arcanist not flash back anything? Was he out of spells?
There's nothing in his graveyard.
No relevant spells, yeah. Alright. What are we thinking about in main phase 2, Nick? Oh, he's probably, I think they meant to pass. Okay. Greg is
draw for
untapping.
The turn is Terminus.
Yep.
And he has the backup counterspell, which is going to hit this force.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
it's going to push through the Terminus.
Once again, Greg has stabilized.
Yep. Yeah, solidly defending.
Yep.
Kind of his position.
I guess the one thing for Nick is that Greg is live to a bolt here.
Yeah,
if that's any consolation.
Well, there's the counterbalance.
Turns, it looks like. So
yeah, where it turns, there is the counterbalance. Someone's going to concede. It looks like
Nick is going to throw in the towel.
Yeah, Greg does have the Brainstorm and the counterbalance out.
Yep.
And Team Tundra is going to take it.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Yeah, that's kind of what happens. Miracles can, if they can just stabilize, find that Terminus on time, even with Arcanist, Blue Red Delver still has a tough time recouping the card advantage. And
yep.
So Greg was able to do that 2 out of the 3 games there.
Yep. Welcome back to the booth for a brief moment. I do believe that was our last game, so we should have round 2 pairings for you guys really quickly. But in the meantime, you can look at our 2 mugs. We're hanging out. This is that was round 1 of 4 here at Monday Night Legacy on beautiful June 10th, 2019, out here in Ballard. It's actually very nice out today. Washington. If you are here playing Magic, you're missing out on a beautiful evening. But that is the trade-off we often take to play Legacy, which is our favorite Magic format.
The only Magic format that I play.
The only one for some people, and certainly the only one for a lot of folks in this room tonight. Big, dedicated Legacy community out here that we're very thankful to have.
Yep.
So,
if you want to play a lot of Legacy, come to Seattle.
Yeah. There will be a Legacy MCQ at the Grand Prix in a few weeks. If you guys are in town for that, the main event, maybe realize you could come play some Legacy as well.
Yeah.
Playing Magic outside is fun, but also wind is a real factor. We're just
Play
moving
Magic
along.
out. You could play Magic outside if you have like cover or something, I guess.
Yeah, if you're in a wind tunnel, a windshield.
Yeah.
It's like I've tried it before. It's not as fun as you might think.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah. All right. Looks like we have round 2 pairings up here, so let's go ahead and take a look-see at that as they get posted around.
Andy Prime, yeah, thank you for tuning in. There will be more
Ooh.
Brendan Six and Loam streams from me in the near future.
This might be a pretty cool one to get on camera.
Which one?
Lauren Mulligan and John Rudd. I know John is on Goblins and Lauren is on Lands. That seems like a pretty interesting interactive.
I'm down.
They both have interaction with one another.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get them on camera.
Also, Gobbles is just fun.
It's super sweet, and I love watching it. Can we try to get table 2 if they're down? Yeah.
And Lauren is a great Lands player. So.
Yeah, Lauren is excellent. She's been playing Lands for ever, for
many
more than a decade.
So now Lands gets Blast Zone,
right,
post-war,
right.
So we get to see how that affects the matchup, and
it doesn't sound like they are playing Ran at 6 or anything though.
Oh, Lands. Yeah. Well, I mean the card's not technically out yet. I've seen Lands mess around with 1 to 2. Currently, there's a challenge list. Lots of Lands in the last challenge, and they were running.
I mean, it's a natural inclusion. A lot of people, I would imagine, want to test it.
Test it. I'm not sure it's the best in Lands though, because Life in Loam is just better all the time.
Yeah, it's not.
I don't really care about the pinging as much in Lands.
Exactly. Yeah. So it remains to be seen.
We'll see if they play it or not in any numbers
in future. I think they're more excited in general about the enchantment land.
I'm not even sure that they'll play that. Or
I know that I talked to Lauren. She was quite excited about it. Yeah. Just
I guess it gets back choke.
Exploration,
and it lets you play Porphyry nodes rather than like the $600 drop of money or whatever.
If you have that.
Table 2 is Lauren and Zach on Telford. Would you like to change your choice?
Oh, we actually would. We were hoping to get that guy's deck on camera. So where would John Rudd be playing?
Wherever Zach was playing on our.
Oh, okay. Wait, who was that? Zach. Why am I not? Oh, okay. So, that's against Nick, who we had on round 1. Never mind. All right, let's go ahead and ask. Let's go ahead and ask table 1, Patrick Daly and Kelvin Wallace. Yeah, see if they haven't started yet. I mean, they're both regulars on camera.
Yeah, we thought Lands would be against Goblins, but it was against Blue Red Delver, and also Goblins was against Blue Red Delver. So we didn't want to show you more Blue Red Delver.
Yeah, this is all just in the interest of getting more variety of matches and more variety of players out on stream.
I know somebody asked for Painter at some point, so we could also get that going at some point.
Hey, were they down? No one's telling me they weren't, so I'm assuming they were down. Okay. So I'm going to get table 1 locked in then. Hopefully they hadn't started yet. I don't think they had. We're going to have stream regular Patrick Michael Daly on the left, often playing some Crazy Brews, but I think playing Miracles the last few weeks just to practice. We're going to have Kelvin on the right. Kelvin was actually in the booth last week. Shout-outs to him for joining our volunteer booth crew.
What is Patrick on today?
Let's take it down to the match so we can get these players, watch these players get ready. Wow, some sweet decks here. And no, we want to save that. This is perfect. Calvin is looking to be playing.
Looks like he's on Undoing Miracles according to our sheet.
Which one, Patrick or Kelvin?
Patrick, okay.
And sure.
Kelvin is on what's Kelvin?
Probably a Delver deck.
Miracles. So we have.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. I'm sorry, everybody.
Yeah.
We're gonna grind it out.
Yeah.
This might be. We might be here a while.
More Miracles action, guys.
What have we done indeed?
I don't know what we've done. We
definitely didn't anticipate this as a matchup.
But here we are. And the
we're gonna
present
rock
moment.
It. We're gonna make it fun and entertaining.
And it's I
mean, this is table 1, you guys. They went up. They did good round 1.
We can't always have perfect matchups for everybody.
I think this might end up being pretty cool.
But we have Patrick, so at least it's like spicy Miracles versus Miracles, right?
We might actually see a Days Undoing.
That is what is that, Prairie Stream or something? See, we're already getting the spice.
Yeah, I think that is a Prairie Stream. pretty good in a strictly blue-white deck for the most part, able to be...
Patrick's brainstorming on his turn.
Yep.
Kelvin, I know, is practicing for the upcoming tournament, so I'm
Of
assuming
course.
he's a Miracles player.
You know, he's more of a person who played a lot of Grixis Delver until Deathrite Shaman got banned, and he's been kind of running around between
best
decks.
deck.
Yeah. Seems like a best deck type player.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with Prairie Steam. Great fit for Miracles. Kelvin picked up our list. Okay, so we have another member of the Hive Mind here.
So much Hive Mind members.
We have a lot. Yeah, we have a big Miracles push happening. So I guess we'll see how our meta adapts to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I don't know what I'm going to end up playing.
I adapt to that by killing them with Garrett.
Yeah, you have a better overall game plan. Your deck plays Chalice the Void.
They can't ever beat Garrick. I mean, I beat Miracles players a lot with Garrick.
And by tossing down cards.
Yeah, that too.
Please just let me play a Thalia deck in this format and not feel bad about it. That's all I want to do. If people say Death in Texas is okay right now, but I think it's just always 50-50. It's okay. I don't know. I don't feel like it's any better against Miracles than it was before Narset.
I think D&T's fine, but it's going to take a pretty huge hit again after Horizons.
Right, Ren and 6 is going to be pretty good against
6, but also Shenanigans is like insane.
Yeah.
So
Shenanigans is also nuts. Yeah, that's a card, man. Yeah, definitely wild. I'm very curious to see.
You beat Garrick with Mentor? I mean, well, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Kelvin untapping, drawing here. I mean, there's just so much action in this hand.
Yeah, lots of stuff happening.
Sounds like a time for mana.
It is. You know what? It is a time for Dredge. I think right now, I was just saying this earlier today. I think right now is like the perfect time for Dredge to come back because everybody's like, "Oh, we got a board against Delver and Miracles, and we're skimping on Graveyard Hate," and that's the time for like Dredge just get in there and strike.
Stands to make a big possible impact.
Yeah, I love Dredge right now. I think that's a great choice.
It's a cool deck for sure. Yeah, it would be fun to kind of play Dredge.
Yeah.
Well,
so Patrick's hand is double Narset, double Force, double Pierce, something else.
Yeah, something else.
Kelvin is going to pass the turn. Didn't make a land drop, 7 cards in hand.
Here's the days I'm doing for Patrick Daly, so now he might try to set up a Narset.
Yep.
But
that's the idea.
Kelvin gets his own Narset down first, the days I'm doing is not as great.
More Narset Mirrors.
Yeah, Narset Mirrors are the future.
Or the current, the present.
Well, yeah.
You know, both.
We're looking at it right now. We're looking at the next few months of Legacy.
It's Narset on Narset.
It's pretty wild. The deck's definitely coalescing into something that's good.
There's a Narset, or an attempt at Narset. Let's see if Kelvin wants to fight over this. He's going to AK in response. And in response, Patrick will fetch and do something.
Upgrades to lands will push all some of this Miracle stuff. That's possible. Yeah. I mean, once these new cards come out,
upgrade to Loam too, Sam. Come on, don't forget about Loam.
Saying lands includes Loam.
Pierce on the AK. Kelvin's going to pay. We continue to try to resolve AK with Narset on the stack. And it looks like he's got some options to counter Narset. He is going to force here. Pitching force. Patrick forces back. Let's see if Kelvin continues to fight or just says okay.
All right. We're going to activate a Narset.
Yeah, well, because if you let Ren just sit there, then it ticks up to P-Fire Retrace or whatever, Decay, whatever infinite spell you want. That seems pretty good versus Miracles. And also Blast Zone out of lands and Loam is probably pretty good against Miracles. It is pretty good against Miracles. Let's see what's going on here. I'm not quite sure what
Patrick's
discussion
looking at
is-
his sideboard after resolving a Narset, right?
Yeah, I'm not
Mm.
sure what's happening.
You know, he might have like found a sideboard card in his fold. Yeah, I think that's
Yep,
what I think.
yep.
I think he's just gonna
He wants
swap
to
it.
just like swap that.
Again, this is kind of regular REL placement
Yeah.
here. He's saying,
I had a sideboard card in that I forgot to take out. Let me just swap it. I'll put it on the bottom or
yeah,
something.
and I think he's just like
he's drawing an extra
drawing
card.
an extra card. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, like we said, it's pretty casual here.
Yep.
I mean, I like my matchup against Storm. Storm is probably better against lands than it is against Loam, but yeah. I think if you want to beat Loam and lands, you play Sneak and Show 10 times out of 10. So that deck, I'm sure, we'll start to see more play soon.
Certainly. Well, Narset coming down
Kelvin
again.
with his own Narset. Patrick wants to fight over it. See if Kelvin fights back.
Yeah. I mean, all he has is a Brainstorm, right?
He's got a Force in hand.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, I think I saw a Force in the back there.
I don't know.
Oh, I guess I thought he had a Force. I guess
I
not.
think it's just Brainstorm. Sometimes they both have a red color. They both have a You start to learn the color variants and the cards and stuff.
Kelvin's hand is 2 Terminus in it, which is like quite bad here.
Yeah. All right.
There's a Days Undoing, and that's a scoop. Yep, it's a scoop.
No, they're just doing it.
Oh no, he's not
They're
scooping.
Just resolving.
Oh, no, just resolving.
They're just resolving.
Okay.
Yeah.
My bad. So yeah, Days Undoing is going to resolve here, which means Patrick draws. Was it 7? And Kelvin draws 1.
I believe so.
Or
yeah.
0.
I think he still draws 1.
1. Okay.
And then the Narset trigger will happen on the subsequent draws.
Yeah, I mean
Tabernacle's
Tabernacle's the.
Yep, there it is. There it is, and that might just be game over here.
And here we are. You know what we bring you guys every Monday is Days Undoing.
Yeah, I guess clip it. It's not that exciting,
attempt
but
at a Jace.
people talk about it happening.
Patrick has succeeded at
for one card, Kelvin drew a pretty good one.
Yeah,
he did. He did
draw a good one, and I don't know that Patrick has an answer here actually because he's tapped out.
Yep.
I don't see a Force of Will.
Find a Force of Will. He does not.
So Kelvin has a Jace. I mean, is that a Karn?
Yeah.
Wow, Patrick's playing Days Undoing Karn Miracles.
I have no idea.
That's some spicy stuff.
Oh, good point that Jace is also not very good against Narset.
No, it's not, because now he has to tick up in Fate Seal.
Right.
Kelvin is not going to concede, though. He's going to ride this out, I guess, and see if Jace can get him there, maybe. I don't know. No cards in hand. Patrick's going to land. He's got a Teferi. He's got a Karn. What does he want to do? What does he want to land here? Looks like leading with Teferi. Yep.
Oh, boy. So that plus is going to... Well, it's not going to do much here, but it's going to.
I'm not sure that the Jace matters at all because Patrick's so far ahead now. But
I mean, yeah, I think Sam's just speaking to like potential optimal plays.
Optimal plays, sure.
Yeah.
Patrick activates Narset, finds a Force for whatever Kelvin has next. And there's an island and a tick up. Fate Seals himself this time. Bottoms. Passes. Let's see if Patrick drops the Karn here. His draw for the turn is a click, which is some pressure. He's going to CJ the Jace. Clears the board, and that's a scoop from Kelvin.
Yep.
So Patrick getting his combo to work that game. Kelvin didn't find an answer. A bunch of Termini stuck in his hand. Is it Termini or Terminuses? I don't know. Multiple Terminus.
Yeah, I like Termini. I think that's good.
Does Patrick have a needle in his board? I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah,
probably.
We do not know.
There's a bridge. There's a needle. Yep, needle bridge. I would assume your typical package with Karn is some combination of bridge, needle, and lattice, and then other stuff maybe, like depending on your deck. If you want a liquimetal coating or an LED, depending on what you're playing, but it's usually those 3 for sure. It's quick sideboarding from Patrick there. There's probably less sideboarding to be done when you have Karn. You play a Crypt too, Tormod's Crypt. Yeah, that makes sense. Crypt is good against AK, I guess. That is a point. Although I thought that Miracle's decks were cutting AK, but I guess not here. So we were talking about that earlier, but
yeah, oftentimes you'll find the Miko results don't necessarily reflect what the locals are working on, just because
because the locals are probably
they're building for a
thinking
local
on their
meta,
own,
and they're also talking to each other rather than just
not
looking
just
at results.
copy pasting MTG Goldfish like I do.
Yep.
Like I did. I don't anymore.
Yep. Seattle Cabal likes AK. I like it. They're a Cabal.
It is true. They like AK. I've been AK'd a lot by the Seattle Cabal.
Yeah.
Many times. So many AKs.
Oh, yeah.
That's a lot of artifacts to run on your board with Karn. But they're all good. They all do stuff. Witchbane Orb's interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, I've just seen people picking that up lately.
Yeah? Is that a thing now?
I don't know what exactly it's coming in against, but yes.
Storm? Discard?
I guess Storm, yeah.
I don't know.
It covers that base for a lot of the decks
Burn?
that don't have... I think it might just be in the blue-red decks.
Yeah. It probably is. I mean, I don't know that I would disagree. I don't think.
Yeah, the AK mirror is weird.
To be honest with you, I really don't think Teferi is that great. But
yeah,
I mean, it seems like a mirror card, right? Like a
it definitely does stuff. It's not a bad card, but it's not.
But it's not a Narset.
Yeah, it's not a Narset. It's not like that.
Well, hey, Sam, we agree about that. I don't actually play. I don't even play Miracles, but I agree with you.
Oh, I did neglect to get our timer going again. Let's see here. Let's see if we can fix this. What is this supposed to be counting down to? That seems weird. Here it is.
So we're about to get into game 2 here. Days Undoing Miracles versus Miracles. We'll try to get something on camera next round that isn't Miracles, but
that's okay.
I'm sure Sam's happy though that we've got a Miracles mirror going. All right, Patrick's gonna leave with a Ponder.
All right. We've got a clock running. It is round 2, folks. I don't know when. Let's see, did that work? Yeah, nice. Try to make this stuff up to date. All right.
Yeah. Okay. 2-1.
Got some EDH declarations going on behind this. Someone's going off.
Yeah.
All right, but we are just in turn 1 of this game here. All right. Cantrips abound from these players. Kelvin grabbing a Volk here.
Yep. Double Volk to lead out of Miracles is interesting. Although, I assume Miracles will no longer play Arid Mesa after Vista is out.
Perhaps, yeah, probably. Unless they need it as a 1-of for some sort of 9th.
Oh, I know it's a blast build, but I didn't know you'd fetch 2 Volks right away, but... Good to know. These are things I'm learning. I don't play blue deck, so I don't know what the fetch patterns are or any of that. But... Patrick brainstorming here. It's going to play a fetch and then pass. Kelvin says go as well. The stare down. This matchup seems to be a lot about Narset.
Yeah, I think it's about positioning, right? Yeah, like sculpting your hand to make sure that when you do land, try to put down a Jace or a Narset, basically a Narset, right? At this point,
Yeah.
I guess I keep under thinking. Yeah, it's just all about kind of getting that down against your opponent, trying to lock them under it, I suppose. Having not played against it with the cantrips, I'd imagine it's quite oppressive. Yep, here it comes. All right. Patrick breaking serve here.
Yeah.
It's about who's going to miss a land drop first. Wow.
Kelvin's going to try and pierce. Patrick's going to force back.
Okay.
See what Kelvin does. That's a counterspell on the force. Patrick's going to force back again. And so is Kelvin. So Kelvin's going to win this counter war, and Patrick is got down to 2 cards in hand. Kelvin with the positioning, and he'll pass the turn. It's a land from Kelvin.
All right, both players making land drops and passing. This is like, as Sam said, we're gonna wait until one of these players starts to act.
Now Kelvin with his own Narset.
Yeah.
And that's going to resolve.
Patrick
and now,
only with 2 cards, is that right?
Yeah.
That's rough stuff.
Land and a plow, it looks like. Is that a plow?
Yeah.
So Kelvin's going to reveal a Pyroblast. Now Kelvin is way ahead.
Yeah.
This one might. There's a click, though. That's a thing. That's a pressure thing. But Patrick saw the Pyroblast, so it's also not going to do much.
It's not going to stop this Narset from ticking down again, unfortunately. It does mean that I think Kelvin's or Patrick's going to be able to snipe the card that Kelvin takes if it's relevant.
Yeah. Well, I mean Kelvin can just counter it with the blast, right? So
yes,
he can just counter it on the stack.
Good point. Oof, I'm tired.
It's all good.
Good point.
It's a sleepy Monday, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Kelvin's gonna ponder.
Yep.
There's the click from Patrick. Let's see if Kelvin Pyro's on the stack here.
It seems like a pretty good use of a Pyroblast, right?
Yeah, I mean, with Patrick doing nothing, 2 cards in his hand, might as well take the pressure off.
Yeah.
Yep, here it is. Click is gone. Now, Patrick draws another click for the turn.
That's kind of hilarious.
That's pretty nice. He's going to probably try that same move again.
Ooh,
Kelvin's going to AK, and in response, we're going to click again.
I guess Patrick's like, do I want to do this?
Yep.
Okay, he does. He says
Kelvin's
yes,
like, oh, I see.
I don't... I feel like you would want to wait to
that one's good.
see
This one's
more
good.
cards. Oh, did Patrick click himself here?
He may have.
Yeah, it looks like he clicked himself.
But then
forgot there was a Narset in play.
Yeah.
Wow, you hate to see that happen.
Clicked himself, was like, oh, I don't draw a card.
Yeah.
I think he just clicked a land though, so like, or a plow. So like, it's whatever.
The old tricks do not apply when Narset is on the battlefield.
Kelvin's draw looked like a snap, so he's gonna be able to answer this click, and I think the game's just over then.
Yeah, it's really hard for Patrick to come back from a position like this. Yeah. I wouldn't even kill him. I guess he does have to kill the Narset.
Here's a snap Pyroblast, looks like.
Yeah, this is tough.
See if
Patrick
throws in the towel or not.
Now Patrick's under Narset lock.
Yep.
And Kelvin is up on cards, so he's just going to have an answer, almost certainly, to anything Patrick can draw.
Yeah.
And Patrick is not going to have enough cards to answer back.
This is that point in the game where you're like, all right.
Yeah.
There's a counter spell. Hand is counterspell island.
Mopa hopping out that he should get a draw there. He clicked on his
max 1 card per turn.
Sam saying that he clicked on his own turn, so maybe
So
It really just depends on
yeah.
how the players drew it up positionally. We are.
Well, if he clicked on
we
his own
don't-
turn, he already drew for the turn, right?
Right,
So.
exactly. So like we don't have a phase bar at the bottom of the screen. We
Yeah, no,
definitely
he
trust
drew
them.
he drew the click and then clicked, and then you can't draw another card.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Yep, he clicked a response to the AK and it's
In his own end step, yeah.
all right. Narset coming down from Patrick.
Yep. There's
But
a Pyroblast, another one.
Pyroblast from Kelvin.
There's a counter spell.
Kelvin
These are
does
some
have
decent.
a response.
These are some decent draws for Patrick here.
Yeah,
just
definitely.
right off the top. Double click, Narset counter spell.
Yep. All right, Narset's gonna resolve.
That's a resolved Narset. Kelvin choosing not to brainstorm in response there.
I guess his thought here is that Patrick's only going to get one spell out. He'll be able to kill it with the onboard creature.
Yeah. Looks like a CJ and something else in there.
Right.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would think, oh, that's a search for Skanta. I would think you would want to brainstorm in response because your brainstorm now only draws you a card, or draws you only one card, right?
Right. I guess he's maybe going to just Council's Judgment here.
Yeah. Oh, I guess that's true. He already had the answer. He's not even going to worry about it. He's just going to attack it with Snap, save the Council's Judgment, I guess.
Oh, he can't Judgment and just play his own, I suppose.
Oh, he doesn't have double white.
Yeah, he doesn't have double white. I didn't even notice.
Yep, there's the second Narset. Find a force. Yep. There's a search for Skanta. And that's gonna resolve.
Yeah.
Kelvin has the disenchant, gets rid of that right away. And then gets rid of the Narset.
Yeah. Activates his own Narset again. Wow.
Still pretty far ahead here. Finds an AK.
Yep.
Looks like Brainstorm, Plow, Council's Judgment, Force, an AK in Kelvin's hand.
Yeah.
Patrick fetches out a Hollowed Fountain. So, some budget Tundra options.
Absolutely. Not making too big of a difference here in the late game.
No.
All right.
Draw for turn. Terminus. I'm gonna hit that Snapcaster.
Yeah.
Kelvin's like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's just a 1-for-1 here.
And Patrick's card in hand is an island. Kelvin's gonna AK here.
Yeah, just AK into turn.
For 2 or 3. 2. Finds Pierce counterbalance. Draw for turn. Land, and he's going to slam the balance.
Oh, yeah.
Patrick says that's good. Plays the fetch. Kelvin in a commanding position here. Draw for the turn is a ponder. Check the balance. Reveals a fluster. Patrick's still playing this one out, but it's going to be tough for him to resolve anything else the rest of the game.
Is Patrick just playing the clock here? No idea.
Not sure, really.
Yeah, not sure.
Could be playing the clock. Could be that he just likes to play things out. Could be that he's getting practice in the matchup. I'm not sure. Kelvin lands a Jace, so more of a crazy position. And there's an entreat off the top, and that
might
should,
put it into things.
yeah, that should seal it up.
Yeah, that's going to be, looks like 3 angels here for Kelvin.
Yeah.
Just
and
enough for
he's
lethal.
Going to brainstorm for 1 card, it looks like.
Yep.
If he brainstorms for 1 card, and doesn't he have to put both back? Yeah. Yep. And there's the scoop.
Yep, there it is. All right, so that's going to be Kelvin up a game. One more.
No, it's 1-1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kelvin up. Yeah, up is maybe the wrong word to use there. Kelvin winning 1 game.
Yeah. Kelvin winning the 2nd game.
Yes.
We are on to game 3.
Indeed. That was my point. We just still have, good 22 minutes.
Yeah.
I think there's even 30 more seconds on the clock than I managed to get on our stream clock here. So plenty of time for these players to get into a later match.
Patrick will get to be on the play for this game 3. Yep.
And both of these are Miracles decks. We'll see them kind of do the same back and forth, but it's really going to be like which player breaks first, which player kind of uses their resources best.
Who misses a land drop first?
Lines up their cantrips.
Yep.
We do notably, like, I guess we're not entirely sure what Patrick's doing with the Karn in this deck.
It's true. It looked like, I saw a couple of the typical artifacts in his board. It looks like both players are keeping. Patrick's going to ponder here. He's going to shock in a Hallowed Fountain, so going to take some damage, although not that matters in this matchup much. Finds a Force of Will. Kelvin will play a land for turn. Found one off the top after keeping a 1-lander. Patrick plays a fetch, passes, draw for the turn as a judgment. Plays a fetch and says go. Decides not to drop the counterbalance there.
Yeah. Just getting the prairie.
Yep. Yeah, why not, right? I mean, fetch out the tap land out of your deck rather than getting the duel.
Okay.
I can do either of them.
All right. Just a lot of blue-white on the battlefield here.
Yeah.
Kind of just waiting.
Tundra City.
Going to Tundra Town.
It's a brainstorm.
What I have to do is just like on any of these computers over here, or the phone, or whatever, you just need to like.
So Kelvin fetches, brainstorms, fetches.
Yep.
The usual early turns from Miracles, just fetching, setting up hands, cantripping.
Yep.
Trying to sculpt, find counter spells, find answers, make land drops, etc.
Yeah, not a lot to be said when there's not a lot of interaction happening on the board, but needless to say, these players are just kind of setting up here.
I think the Miracles Mirror is one of those things where some people find it really interesting and some people don't get it.
Well, it's much more interesting to play than it is to watch.
Yeah.
The stakes are higher. Your decision making is
Yeah.
more relevant on a turn-by-turn basis when you know like what you have, you don't know what your opponents have. But yeah, from up above here, we're kind of just watching both these players twiddle their thumbs until someone starts to break.
Yep.
But ponders until then. Seemingly, he doesn't have a blast very hard when he fetched ball last game. Sam Hilljack in the chat, for those of you at home, is a knowledgeable Miracles player here, providing some awesome insight.
He does signal that he doesn't have blast very hard when he doesn't fetch balk. You're right.
Yeah.
That is a tell, I suppose.
I mean, with the other fetches in hand, it means I feel like it's not that much of a signal, right? Like, he's still representing double red right here, potentially. Double Tundra also says I have a CJ. That's fair.
These are the nuances coming from one of our Miracles pilots. Now Calvin.
Look, you might just see double Valk here, right?
Valk
This is
here.
a no wasteland matchup, so you might as well.
No wasteland, no blood moon.
Yeah, likely no back to basics here either.
Yeah, that'd be
pretty weird.
An interesting one. Hey, I thought Blast Zone too because I play Blast Zone.
Yep.
So.
Nope. There's one original Blast. Zone is going to have to be the word we use for that one.
Patrick's deck is indeed Narset plus Days Undoing plus Karn. Saw some Karns. He's not cast a Karn yet, but they are in his deck.
Indeed.
Kelvin with a counterbalance. And there's a CJ on the balance. Kelvin does have a force in hand, as does Patrick.
Yeah.
So we'll see what he wants to do here. He's also got Spell Pierce, and he has a balance activation.
All right, it looks like it's going to resolve, and Kelvin says that's fine.
Oh no, he's going to check here. It's a ponder.
Of course.
Now it's fine.
Of course. Yeah, both players kind of retroactively applying that check.
Yeah.
More pondering for Kelvin, though.
Yep, ponder finding Narset, Red Blast, Force. That's pretty solid. Or Pyroblast. Draws the Pyroblast here. Leaves Narset Force on top.
These things were being like most of the formats were.
Kelvin has Flusterstorm, Spell Pierce, Force of Will, Red Blast, Pyroblast, Narset. Lots of stuff.
Lots of stuff.
Discards for turn, throws away the plow. Kelvin has a very good hand right now. Let's just say that.
Yeah, definitely.
Patrick's going to try. Nope. Thought about trying this Narset. Looks like he missed a land drop. He is going to try. There's a Red Blast.
Yeah, Kelvin's just really far ahead here.
Yeah.
I mean, Patrick has cards in hand, right?
Patrick's
we'll see him
double
respond
fetching.
here to this Red Blast.
Yeah, he might try to Force here, but Force just gets so outclassed by the Pyroblast in Kelvin's hand. Not to mention his own Force.
I think it's just a counter spell.
Okay.
But Kelvin's holding onto that Spell Pierce still,
Yeah,
right?
and he's got Fluster. He's
got
Spell
a couple
Pierce.
different options here.
4 options. He's going to Fluster.
Okay.
Saving the Spell Pierce, that's interesting.
This seems like a better spot for Pierce, but I don't know,
Yeah, maybe he wants to save Pierce for Walker. I don't know.
Oh,
but anyway.
do you get a... No, never mind. I was overthinking that interaction. Yeah, everything just got countered there.
Yeah.
Narset coming down for Kelvin.
Yep. Once again, Kelvin is trying to win the Narset war.
Yeah, I mean...
And Patrick's going to try to say no. There's a Spell Pierce.
Yeah, but, I mean...
Patrick has another Force
interchangeable there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Patrick is debating whether he wants to force back the Spell Pierce, I suppose.
I mean, if he does, he's going to get forced. Because Kelvin has double Force in his hand here.
Yeah, it's definitely not a great...
This is a losing battle for Patrick, yeah. And he's just going to say yes, it looks like. So Kelvin gets the Narset first. He's going to Impulse here.
Yep. Yeah, it's he's pretty... Kelvin has us pretty locked up against Patrick here.
Yeah. And that is a Narset. So Kelvin's going to be able to chain Narsets here, which I guess is now what format we play in.
Yeah.
The Narset chaining format.
War's been out for about a month now, or however long, and I think that's about right.
Yep.
I don't know. What are your Narset numbers in this list, Sam? Is it 3 or 4? I'm sure we'll get an answer shortly.
It's got to be 2 or 3, right?
It's definitely 3. I'm curious if it's been bumped
I
up to
play
4.
3. Yeah.
It's just 3, all right.
I played
Not that
against
great.
a guy online with 4, and that
I
was
know,
pretty
yeah,
brutal.
I was with
Weren't
you
you
when we
there?
played
Yeah,
that,
that was brutal.
Yeah, I was over the shoulder on that one. All right. Another Narset activation.
So many Narsets. All day long. All the Narsets. Forever.
Yeah, we've definitely seen a lot. I know 3 and 4 isn't like the biggest difference, but it's definitely worth seeing.
Patrick
in
says
almost
no.
every matchup.
Kelvin says no.
Yeah, just the big wars
There goes
here.
Narset.
Voting for Narset.
Yeah.
Again, it's really just like a point of like breaking serve, and now like Kelvin's up on cards, Patrick's behind.
Yep.
Kelvin is behind on lands, but
Yep.
Patrick just doesn't have the ammo.
And you're seeing here too. So Patrick's playing Blue-White Miracles.
Ooh.
That's a Karn.
All right.
But Patrick's playing Blue-White Miracles, which means that Kelvin has the advantage since he has the blasts in
It's
his
true.
deck.
Yeah, you're
So
absolutely right.
That's why Kelvin's had such an
These
advantage.
blasts have been huge.
Yeah, as they usually are in Blue Mirrors. There's a force on the Karn.
Yep.
Yeah,
Andy, I kind of disagree. I think the push towards Planeswalker interaction's gotten really heavy lately.
Yeah, and we're about to add in more.
It's hard to imagine wanting to play a normal creature deck.
Yeah.
These days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, even Maverick doesn't seem at its best right now.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see if that changes at all over time. I mean, there are decks that beat Planeswalkers, right? So, it depends on how the meta shakes out over the next couple months.
Yeah.
But it is a very push thing, and I think you're going to see Wizards take a break on walkers for the next couple sets.
I hope so. Everyone else seems to think that as well. So
yeah.
Common sentiment would hopefully hold there.
Which I really hope they do, because we've had enough with the Karns and how many Karns have we had printed lately? Like, it's just like so over the top.
Yeah, we went from 1 Karn to
like 3
Karns. Yeah.
4.
3 usable Karns. Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. Yep.
It's just like really, and the anti-walker card they give us is Elder Spell, which is like black useless. So I mean, there really isn't like
not
the best
a lot.
answers for it.
I mean, there's that new red-black that's okay. It can make players sack a Planeswalker, but
I mean, even
then it's like not that much better than Dreadbore, right?
You really want to see like a 1-mana Planeswalker answer, like a blast type effect.
That's I mean, the only thing that we have there is the Delve deals 5 to a Planeswalker card that we just discussed earlier. So that's new.
Yeah.
It's new.
Yeah. There's also
it's probably not going to be worth it.
Well, there's also the 1 black sorcery that takes 5 counters off something.
Oh.
So that could be a potential thing. But
sure.
Yeah, Sam just brought it up in chat.
Okay. So Sam's maybe onto that. Nice.
But I don't know if that's worth it yet. I don't know if we're in a spot for that or not. It's hard to say. There's an AK. I mean, as a lone player, I don't care as much because I play Decay and Punishing Fire, and I have plenty of ways to deal with the stuff, and Narset doesn't really affect me too much. But
I mean, but that's the thing. Is it's going to be restrictive for the meta. Will then be Narset decks.
Oh, I know.
Land decks.
Yep.
And then combo decks.
Yep.
And like no room. Like I said, like we'll see how D&T survives in a world with Ren and 6 and shenanigans. But even that may not be a desirable creature route to go for combo control. Maybe Goblins gets better.
Goblins should get better. Goblins gets new stuff for sure. So.
Yeah.
And Goblins is very good against Miracles and other control decks. So I think we may see like a huge uptick in that deck.
Probably not huge, but hopefully some. I really want. I want to play that deck. I definitely want to pick up cards.
You know what else D&T is really bad against though? Goblins.
It's true. So, it's not a great matchup.
It's a rough time for D&T in the coming months, I think. Kelvin lands at Jace. I know we've been sort of talking about other stuff here, but Kelvin's still in a pretty commanding position.
Yeah, I mean, not a lot has happened to change
Patrick's hand
the status of the match.
Patrick's hand currently is Double Dazen doing Island's Plow, which is just not great.
Not going to get there.
Especially with Kelvin's Narset. Patrick has to deal with that first. Yeah, hey, what's up, Josh? I know we have a Miracles mirror on camera here.
UW all day. This is round 2 top tables going into the last 10 minutes of the round.
Yeah. Well, are we talking about modern or legacy? Because that's definitely a modern thing with the London Mulligan.
I think we're talking
legacy.
about. I think we're talking about a legacy adaptation,
Ah.
which I don't think is going to be very. I think it's just another turn one combo deck.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really.
Yeah, I think it's about on the same level as like Oops or Belcher. It's probably
Yeah.
fine. It's probably not. Probably is. It's just as good as those decks, perhaps.
Yeah. Well, London Mulligan might help, right?
Yeah.
Turn one stuff. There's a Teferi from Patrick, or an attempt at Teferi. He has no counter magic in his hand, so that's going to get snapped, something blasted. Looks like.
Yeah.
And Patrick can't do anything about that. It's a plow on the snap. Kelvin says that's fine. Teferi goes away. Patrick passes. And there's the entreat.
All right.
So that's going to be game, most likely.
Yeah, that's going to put enough power on the battlefield for Kelvin to win it.
And it looks like Kelvin's going to take this one in 3. And we'll get something that isn't Miracles on camera next round. So.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, we know we've had it a lot.
Yeah. Are there any post decks around? There's at least one. I know that Lee is on post.
Yeah, we have one Eldrazi World Karn post deck tonight.
Yep, just one. Uno. We have a D&T player in the room. Yeah. So that's cool. Yeah, it's a lot of Delver and a lot of Miracles, and that is Seattle.
Yeah.
And a lot of Stoneblade. A lot of blue decks.
Definitely.
It's just what people like doing here, you know? They like grinding out their Force of Wills and the blue cards and the Ponders and the Brainstorms, the Jace.
Yep. All right, we got Angels. Both these players playing it out.
If you want to go
champions.
Yep. If you want to go to Legacy from blue-white control, should you try Miracles? I mean, yeah, it's probably the closest thing, right?
Yes, that would be a recommendation to give it a shot. You really only need, not only, but like the first Tundra goes a long way.
You don't. Yeah, you need even less Tundras now with Vista too.
Absolutely.
A bunch of basic lands. So, as in if it's a good deck, yeah, Miracles is a great deck. It's tier 1.
It's very good. It is now with the new Narset, it is consistent and very, very strong.
Yeah. Yeah, blue, white, red Miracles, certainly one of the best decks in the format. Yeah.
Yep.
Miracles is king again. It might be. It's hard to say. I mean, I think right now.
I think we'll find out in 2 weeks, basically.
I think right now it's really Miracles, Blue Red Delver, Bomberman.
Yeah.
Are kind of at the top of the current format.
Yeah.
Karn decks. Patrick scoops it up. Kelvin's going to take that one in 3.
All right.
But
Bomberman getting huge in the local meta.
You know, I will say that as a lone player, I think my deck's very well positioned. I'm a little biased, but
I mean,
I have a great matchup against Bomberman, so
yeah, I think the deck is reasonably positioned. It's just underplayed because of
it is underplayed.
Hard.
It's expensive. It's hard.
Yeah, because of a number of different reasons. So
Yeah.
Certainly a reasonable choice for going into any Legacy tournament these days, though.
I don't know that I agree with you, Sam, but that's okay. We don't have to agree.
Bomberman is the best Chalice deck at the moment. Man, people really are speaking into this deck being very strong.
It is really strong. I haven't
even seen these super refined lists.
Bomberman is also awkwardly terrible against Chalice on 0, so there's that.
Right, yeah. I mean, it's probably the best Chalice deck that also dies to Chalice, whereas your deck does not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to argue that
New Karn kills Chalice on 0.
It does. It does. Yeah.
Good point.
But
I didn't
but
think about
but
that.
like the point is though, if you turn one Chalice on 0, then the other deck's gonna have a hard time casting their Karn because they want a bunch of 0 mana artifacts. So I mean, if Karn hits the board, then yes, Chalice isn't great. But the point is that Chalice affects their deck before they can land Karn.
Yeah. You still feel okay about the matchup is your main point.
Yeah. I played it on stream against Julie and Knob the other day, and I managed to win, and the matchup felt good. And I mean, I don't know. I haven't played against it a lot, so I don't know. But I agree that it is very good in the current meta in general.
I'm curious to see how much more it pops up, considering we have some players that have already played it locally for like a long time.
But I do think that it's the kind of deck that, while it is very good, it is a deck that you can adjust to and the meta can adjust to. I don't think it's like broken in any way.
Yep. Andy Prime breaking it down in the chat.
Yeah.
Deck has different types of draws.
It does. Yeah, it
early
is a very
Mentor, early Karn, or Bomberman combo draws.
Yeah, it's an interesting deck to play against because you have like these 3 different avenues of like angles of attack. That's why it's good. Because you have Mentors, you have Karns, you have combo.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's hard to stop all 3 of those at the same time, which is why I think the deck is good right now. But it's not without its weaknesses, though.
Yeah.
It can very easily be waste locked. The mana base is pretty shaky because it runs a lot of soul lands and white artifact lands.
Yep.
And Chalice on 0, like I said, is good against it early. Stuff like Gaddock Teague is excellent against it. You can still Force of Will, you can still Daze. I mean, it is not like this unbeatable thing.
Totally.
I think it is very good.
Yeah, no, it's been interesting. The deck's been more of a fringe deck for a while now, and only recently with some of these new cards has it popped up into being what people consider to be strong in this format. So that's, I do like that as far as decks getting pushed up, but there is just a huge emphasis on some of these, like, again, just like Karn, Narset, Teferi. A lot of these newer Planeswalkers are just showing up in all the decks.
Yeah, I agree. I know that Teague only stops Karn, but the deck still runs 8 Karns, so when 8 of your cards are stopped, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it has play. And
like it's
playing Teague when they have a bunch of Karns in hand is very strong, I'm sure.
Yeah. I'm not saying it stops the deck, but it does stop that angle.
Yeah. It looks like we're just waiting on probably 1, maybe 2 more matches out here to resolve. Yeah.
But I think, like, I don't know enough about the deck to say like what the weak matchups are and stuff, but I don't think the deck is like oppressive, really. I mean, it's just good right now. People are still adjusting. I think Legacy hasn't even adjusted to War of the Spark yet, and we're about to have Modern Horizons and the London Mulligan be introduced, so it's going to be a lot of like changing, shifting things.
It's going to be turbulent for a hot minute.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that there's like nothing for Legacy in M2020 or whatever it's called, M20. I just hope. I just like don't want any new cards.
Yeah,
for
I'm pretty.
a set cycle.
I'm not gonna lie.
One set cycle.
I'm like
want no
pretty
new cards.
done with the Wizards printing stuff for Legacy.
It's
like
pretty
just
crazy,
like give it a break. Let it like we're fine. And it is a little frustrating because I thought before War was printed, Legacy was in the best place it's ever been in. And so now we have this like shake up thing, and I just don't know how I feel about it. I'm a little bit.
Everyone doesn't. We gotta wait and see, right?
Yeah. It's hard to say. I'm not the biggest fan of the direction that Legacy is going in right now, but I mean, it's hard to say what happens 3 months from now. So.
Exactly. Yeah. It's always changing.
But I do hope that I do. Yeah, it is true. We do fear change, but I really hope that Core Set 2020 just like gives the format nothing, because I think we've had enough.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
We've gotten plenty of our cake and can eat it too and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Really just waiting on round 3 to start, folks. I don't know what to tell you. I think we are, as you can see, the clock is done. Our on-camera match is done. We got a couple of folks still running it out, it seems. But, other than that, I'm not too sure. Folks playing Canadian Highlander behind us. That's a really fun casual format.
I think we've had plenty of playables. So, yeah. I don't know if we need more. I think there's decks that are going to be made that don't exist yet that are going to be competitive with new cards.
Yep,
so,
I'm excited to see those.
Yeah, it's a whole new world.
Right.
I'm just going to build Bear Tribal.
Yeah.
Just like play that sometime, because why not?
It's called Slivers.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. There's another deck that's good right now.
Yeah, we
I
got
think
a new
Slivers
sliver,
is
man.
like
We got a new
sneaky great.
sliver.
You know what doesn't give a crap
It
about
might
Narset?
be. I think Slivers is probably the humans of Legacy. I don't think
Yeah.
Legacy humans is actually as good as modern humans is in modern. I think Slivers is probably that whatever tribal aggro deck, especially with that new sliver.
Yeah, I
It's
think
pretty brutal.
that deck is
Flying Haste Slivers nuts.
You want to know what secretly is in a good position? I think Slivers is in a good position right now.
Totally. Yeah, I could see that.
The new red white one that gives everything flying in haste is like pretty huge upgrade. So.
Yep. And this, they've also benefited. Like Slivers, it's not like Slivers came out when they got an 8th or when they got their new Cavern of Souls, right?
Yeah.
So now, I mean, Slivers can run like God. They have Sliver Hive, Cavern, the new one,
Yeah.
and Ancient Ziggurat.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
there's a perfect mana for Slivers, basically. It's
Yeah,
just on
I mean,
people to do it.
you don't have the combo interactive stuff, but I still think the deck can compete, and I think it's obviously like
Yeah.
really solid against a lot of the main decks in the format right now.
I don't even know how good Thalia is in this
And also
in
we
Legacy
got
right now.
I don't know, you never hear from him, and I don't know if he's like ever watching Twitch, but you got Daniel Nunez, who's like Sliver guy, and he puts up 5-0s all the time with the deck, and he has for a long time.
Right on. So yeah. Yeah, Slivers do provide. I mean, they provide disruption in that they can like. So it's less like Meddling Mage and Out of Humans or Kite Sail, where you're taking your opponent's cards. It's that you have. What are they called? Crystalline Sliver and Darkheart Sliver. Or not Darkheart Sliver. What's the one? The one that lets you pull back.
The bouncing one, yeah.
Bouncing
Hibernation.
Sliver. Yeah, so when you have Crystalline and Hibernation Sliver out, they basically like can't, like, all their removal spells don't do anything hardly. So it's not like you're naming a removal spell.
Yeah.
It's that like they don't have a reasonable level of interacting with you.
They are more pure aggro, but I think right now in the current meta, pure aggro sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, where's the combo decks? We're not seeing any Storm.
They're definitely weak.
Not seeing any Show and Tell right now.
Yeah, they would be like, it's definitely a little weaker against a combo deck, but like that's what
Storm, but Storm has been like pushed out of the format because of Karn decks. So,
sure, yeah.
And,
Diffusion Sliver, yeah.
And Show and Tell, I think Show and Tell will come back, but right now we're not seeing much of it because of Blue Red Delver. So it seems like a good time to me.
Yeah.
But and I don't know. We'll see where Bomberman fits into all that too.
I am excited for our next 1K. I'll say that much. It'll be really interesting to see what the meta looks like.
I'm planning on playing in it, but
yeah, June 29th.
Yeah, I'll probably play alone, but you never know.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to practice that for that tournament. How we doing on? Just waiting on the old printer. Excellent. Round 3 coming up, folks.
Indeed. Also, like I said earlier, I think Dredge is pretty solid right now too.
Yeah, sure.
Because people are like trying to sideboard for these Karn decks and these Miracles decks, and not for graveyard decks. So it's like Dredge is time to pounce. All right, we got pairings up here.
Cool. Let's take a look. Let's see, Lauren and Colin, Jason and Joey. That's going to be a burn match. Actually, that might be a Dredge matchup. What's Jason Wong on?
Jason Wong is on Pox.
Oh, so that's Pox versus, I think, Dredge.
That's weird. Pox versus.
Oh no, Joey's on burn tonight. Never mind. That's not as interesting.
D&T versus
Daniel Yang versus Jace Kim.
Burn.
Oh yeah.
This is Sneak versus Post.
Yeah. Let's see if we can get what's Zach playing here tonight. Delver, and then Chris Fornace is on Bant, I think.
Bant, yeah.
That sounds pretty cool.
Delver versus Bant.
Yeah, that seems pretty cool.
Yeah, we could do that, or we could get Painter versus Reanimator. No, that doesn't sound great.
Yeah, all right.
All right, let's do this one then.
Let's do
7.
Wait, we're to table 7? Yeah, 7. This is a 3-point table, but it's going to be probably the most interesting match that we've got, especially featuring players that we have not seen on camera tonight. Everyone else is up at the top table, so we knew how to pick them in the early rounds.
Yeah.
Chris Fornes and Zach Dennis. Both these cats are pretty regular. I'm excited to see what Chris Fornes has going with Bant. I don't quite know what cards we are going to see.
And I don't know what Zach's on Delver of some kind.
Oh, so just Delver. We'll,
Yeah.
we'll adjust accordingly then once we get down to the camera. All right.
Yeah,
so,
Manaless Dredge seems pretty solid right now, while people are off ley lines and stuff. And there's no Eldrazi anywhere right now, so that's a deck that ran ley lines that isn't around.
Yeah. The suspend up. I guess that's new. I didn't
Is that
realize
a new
that.
thing?
I didn't realize that someone actually put that together, Sam.
Yeah, that seems cute but not consistent.
We
in
had
my
someone mention
first
it.
Reaction.
Yeah, we had someone mention it in chat, but we did not have a
I mean, I could see you having the draws of like Shardless Agent into 4/4s.
Yeah,
but I could see you also having draws of like, oh, I have suspend cards.
It's
and
not
nothing
very
to do.
good. Yeah. It's probably not a 4 in the deck.
Yeah.
Let's take it down to this match here. We got these players swapped. Do this. Perfect. All right, I'm excited to see Chris Fornes' deck. He always plays weird ones. He's a Nick Fit player locally a lot of the time, but also sort of a bug control player, I believe. Bounces between sort of off like fringe strategies, but usually involving still blue cards.
If that Rudd deck has Ren and Elephants, though, I'm totally going to play that for fun.
It probably does have Ren.
Yeah.
I mean, cascading into Ren seems very solid.
I want to cascade into Elephants.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Let me see. It'd be sweet to see just a straight Waterfalls revival with all of the,
the stuff.
I want to Blood Braid into a Shardless Agent.
Yeah, when's the last time Ancestral Vision ever was played? Like, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Card's
You know what else?
still good.
I feel like, what's it called? Doesn't Dreadhorde Arcanist flashback that card?
Does it?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Oh, does it only? I thought it was one or less. But maybe it's not.
Maybe it does then. Man, if you had, so that means you can like flashback your suspend cards with Arcanist. That deck plays Arcanist too, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh, maybe that is good. Who knows?
I think that might actually be sweet.
Yeah.
Nice swamp playmat from Card Kingdom. Zach has it on his left here. All right, we're off to the races here.
Another deck that seems weak to Chalice on 0. Okay, so we got Chris has got a Daze in his hand, so that kind of band deck.
Arcanist says less than or equal to. Okay, yeah.
It makes sense. Wasteland from Zach.
Lol. I like that idea. Try hard. All right, Wasteland resetting the game. Chris just playing a fetch land now.
Yeah, cascading into visions into drawing cascade cards, suspend cards seems bad.
Shardless cascade into Arcanist too. Well, maybe we got something going on there.
We got something going on.
Maybe Rug. Yeah, Rug Arcanist.
Yeah.
Wow. Who knows?
And then all I did was then I angel. Or so what you could do is you can angel trace, but you would want the extra angel trace.
Rug Canist.
Regardless, it's a lot of new cards getting legacy play. It's kind of scary. I don't like it. I don't like the scary change. Too much change for me.
All right, here comes Gaddock Teague. All right,
not only is it Gaddock Teague,
what a surprise.
It is Box Topper Gaddock Teague.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Trop into Karakas into Gaddock Teague is definitely a play.
It's a thing.
Oh, we're going to see
like,
Force of Will.
Nah, I don't want that.
Yeah. That Teague is going down. But Chris could force back. He could daze too, right? Couldn't he just daze this? Oh, he has the mana. Never mind. Zach has the mana.
It is Box Topper. Yeah.
All right, Brainstorm from Zach at the end of turn. That's kind of interesting. That's a free daze. Yep. That's pretty nice for Chris, I think.
Yeah. It is nice.
Ooh, but Zach gonna be able to just Wasteland. I don't know if Karakas is necessarily what you want to hit. Does he have any other plays this turn? Let's see. Let's get his turn restarted too.
Or maybe it's not a box topper. Maybe it could be an altar too.
I think it is.
I don't know. One of the two. Like a border extension. Zach is going to wasteland here, it looks like. So Chris is on no lands.
Yeah. Oh, Bant with new Teferi. Okay,
Yeah,
I could see. I could see what we're doing here. I did see recently Infect wanted an STG this weekend with for the new 2 of the new Teferi.
Oh.
Yeah.
It says you can't cast cards on your.
Yeah. So that's pretty good actually.
Yeah, and they get the new scale up too. So
Yeah.
let's see if that actually helps or not.
Yeah, that might just be like a 1-of or something like that. But it's it's a turn 2 kill, so it's pretty powerful.
Yeah, I mean, if we go longer, Bant is more favored, right? Delver's not landed a threat, so. And there's a Scoos from Chris.
Yeah, it looks like he's drawn a bunch of his potential Green Sun Zenith targets.
Yeah, so I wonder, do you think he's playing Green Sun? Is this like
so.
a Bant Green Sun
I think this
deck?
might be a
like
Bant Green
Bant
Sun
Maverick
deck.
type of thing?
I think this might be like more like Bant mid-range. Less like Dahlias and the like, but more just trying to run Noble Hierarchs and Night of the Reliquaries.
I always appreciate people who just make their own stuff and run with it.
Yeah. Like there's powerful spells in these colors, right? You can definitely just play good cards in Bant colors.
You don't always have to listen to the pros.
Yeah, I mean, Legacy is, if all the pros played Legacy, the meta would probably look like different than it does now.
Yeah.
Right? Like it would be more refined.
Well, I mean, a lot of it's like the Moto Grinder meta.
Yeah, exactly. We have those guys doing all the work. Zach just trying to find an answer over here to Scoos. Don't want that to run away with the game at all.
Yeah, he's got a turn to answer it before Chris can tap green mana. So. I think Infect is somewhat playable again, which is nice. I'd be happy to have Infect back in the meta.
Yeah, dude. I don't think it's bad right now.
There's an Arcanist from Zach, which looks like. Well, Chris has a Force in hand with a couple of Planeswalkers to pitch if he wants, but I think he's just going to let this one resolve. And the draw is a Knight, which is sweet. I like this Knight Scoos, but also Jace Teferi thing going on.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right after Deathrat Shaman got banned, Jeremy Edwards played a Bant Knight, kind of Knight plus True Name plus Stoneforge
Walker
deck.
stuff thing, yeah. There's a Teferi. It's a lead for Chris.
It's a pretty sweet one to resolve if he gets to bounce this Dreadhorde Arcanist to draw a card here.
Yep.
Yeah, this is a pretty big tempo push for Chris. He's not going to be able to... Oh, he can still hold up Force of Will. I don't think he wants to pitch Jace.
I think Chris played 2 lands for the turn.
Right?
He played Bayou already.
Yeah. Hey, oh man, we definitely need... Hey, Judge. Well...
Chad, am I right? Did he play 2 lands for the turn? He might have... I think I saw him.
All right, we're just going to let it rock. It's a regular Ariel, and I don't want to get up from the booth, and our judges aren't paying attention right now.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, he definitely did. Yep.
All right, I'll get up.
Yeah. It's kind of late now because he's already eating Teague and swinging for 3. And...
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Here we are.
Yeah.
It is regular Ariel. I don't think there's anything malicious going on. It's a Monday.
No, certainly
People
not.
Just
I think this is just where I mean neither player caught it either, which is the more frustrating.
Yeah, it's kind of what happens because Chris had played a land, played a spell, had activated an ability, just like probably spaced on the land.
Drew a land off the Teferi.
Yeah. and Zach didn't catch it, so it is what it is. We're not playing a comp REL thing here.
Yeah, let's keep that in mind, and I'll definitely go tell them in between rounds or whatever. I think we just, I don't know. This is why we need kind of someone on hand would be very helpful in situations like this.
Yep.
All right. All right, well, here's the Wombo combo of Pyromancer plus Dreadhorde Arcanist down on the battlefield now. Yeah, pretty much. It's not even very easy to get up from the position that we're in, so it's not like I can immediately swoop out either. I'd have to push a bunch of crap to the side. So it is an eternal struggle for our eternal format. And a good reminder that our Card Kingdom stream is pretty much just brought to you by Volunteer Crew and the people that run the tournament anyway. So, you know, they're here already getting paid to run the tournament. They help set up. But other than that, it's me and Connor in the booth hanging out, and not many other people hanging around. All right. Chris is trying to figure out what he's got. He's got a Jace to play. Ooh, also drew a Leovold, which is definitely, this is 4-color.
It is. So
I think this might be Splash Leovold.
This might just be like 4-color pile, except it's
could be white Splash
different
Leovold,
colors, not red.
Or Bant Splash Leovold.
Leovold's an interesting choice given that you already got access to Narset, but
yeah.
I mean, again, there's weird stuff you can do like as you're playing Lotus.
Well, Zach's hand looks like a land and a force, and Chris is certainly ahead on board, and he has a bunch of stuff in his hand. I'm not actually sure how much that land drop really mattered, given that Chris still just lands Leovold here. Yeah, Zach's going to scoop it up. I don't think the land drop really was going to change that at all.
Outcome of that match.
Given Chris's hand and board state.
Yeah. All right. It's going to be 1-up for Chris there. As these players move to the sideboard. Yeah, and you know, actually, I'll take a moment right now to grab up and just point out to them what happened. Alright, so neither player caught it. I think, I mean, we might have just had a very quick pass of the turn or something that we missed. But certainly they're all good out down there on the table. So yeah. Okie dokie. Getting a cool look at Chris Fornes' sideboard here. I saw one Winter Orb. I see a bunch of weird ones. All right.
Oh, good. No, I'm not able to right now.
Get ready for game 2. In this Bant Leovold, I'm going to change this to Bant Leovold. Bant Leovold.
Yeah, but it'd be nice.
So I got some Blue Red Delver and Blue White Miracles, the talk of the town for Legacy right now. All right. Both players drawing. Chris is going to keep his 7. Looks like some awkward mana for him, but maybe that leftmost land is something. Otherwise, it looks like I just see Forest, Wasteland, and then blue and white cards, which is definitely different.
Yeah.
All right, fetch and ponder for Zach.
Here's the fetch ponder.
We're gonna go at 3.
All right, more ponders, more shuffling, more fetching.
More blue stuff.
Yeah, it's been a very fetchy fetch night for us. Does look like you find some cantrips and a wasteland off the ponder. Gonna keep and draw a brainstorm and move along to Chris Fornes' first turn. Chris does find a sweet, sweet blue land that he needs, but he's just going to start off with a wasteland, firing right back at Zach's first turn play from the game previously. Zach is now conspicuously, I think, low on land. Uh-oh. And I don't think we saw wastelands from Chris in game 1, too, so that might be a surprise to Zach right here.
He's running a 4-color wasteland deck.
Right? Yeah.
That doesn't have Mox Diamond. So
I mean,
that's aggressive.
Noble Hierarch, yeah.
Yeah.
Maverick does it, but yeah, similar.
Well, Maverick doesn't run 4 colors normally.
I mean, it can.
But,
like, they can splash Leovold and be greedy, is what I'm
or
saying.
maybe this is, you know what? This might be that closer
it's got
to
a
that
brainstorm.
Maverick list that splashes for Leovold that we've been seeing.
Maybe. It's got brainstorm, so I still think we're looking at more of like a base blue,
Yeah,
base
it
blue
might
green.
be base blue splash
I think it's
green
Bant.
or splash black.
Yeah, I think it's Bant Splash Black.
Yeah.
So Teferi...
And it's running Planeswalkers.
Oof, turn 2 Teferi is pretty solid here, actually. I mean, it's just going to be able to tick up and then be a permanent bouncer for anything that Zach gets to play. This is maybe another reason Chris is experimenting with these colors here. I mean, turn 2 Teferi, come on. That's now he's got the can't cast instants or sorceries as well.
Yeah, it's pretty good here.
Or can't cast, what is it?
Pretty
Can't
good.
cast instants? Yeah, Teferi Time Reveler is pretty nice.
Hey, I run the single greediest deck ever, but it's okay. It usually works out fine. Mox Diamond's a hell of a card.
Yeah. All right, more Wastelands abound.
It's a waste on the sea.
It's oh,
And a
okay.
blast on the Teferi.
Wow.
There's an answer.
Yeah, that's a pretty
It's a pretty good answer.
That's a pretty great turn for Zach here.
Yeah.
It's gonna let him play catch up. So Chris is still ahead on 2 lands, but like that was kind of all he had. Now he's got Leo.
Oh, this is a Leo.
I mean, Leo's actually pretty solid here.
Yeah. Well, and he has double plow in hand too for whatever first 2 threats Zach has.
Yeah.
The other thing that's interesting is Zach's playing a Delver deck, but the first game in this game, he's not really had any threats hit the board.
Yeah.
But here it looks like he's going to cast a Pyro. Or not.
Yeah, this is rough. Oof. All right, we're just abrading. Chris is still going to get his card. But, yeah. Ooh, a Zealous Persecution. My goodness. Maybe I should feel okay about running my Greedy Maverick deck. Brainstorm coming for Chris. Still only blue from the Noble Hierarch, but he did draw a Tropical Island here. Found a bunch of good stuff. Is going to just put these 2 lands back, probably fetch up one of them, and then shuffle his library. Zach pondering, mulling over his options. Yeah, he's just really far behind. I mean, this is the power of Noble Hierarch, right? Chris goes Wasteland into Forest, Noble Hierarch, and Zach is just like struggling to keep up. Even though he's drawn relevant spells.
Yeah.
Just the texture of Chris's hand has meant that like, so he had to spend a Wasteland on a Waste, and then he spent a Pyroblast on a Teferi. That's pretty good, right? But then Chris follows up with, boom, Leovold. Now you have to spend 2 mana to kill Leovold, and Chris will draw a card out of that. So you're not even catching up.
Right.
Yeah. Just a really solid value from Chris's deck.
Well, that's what Noble Hierarch does. And I mean, in general, these Bant Leovold decks or the mid-range decks like Maverick and whatever are favored against Delver too.
Yeah, definitely.
Like Delver's got to really change its game plan around after game 1 to be able to handle these kinds of decks. Yeah, Zach missing a land drop was not great, and also he doesn't have any threats. He didn't have threats game 1, he hasn't had threats game 2, and it just allows Chris to get time.
Yep.
So Zach can wasteland all he wants, but Chris finds more lands and gets an opportunity to find more threats, and it just means that the longer the game goes, the lower chance that Zach has to pull it out.
Absolutely. This might be the first quick match of the night. Chris is firmly ahead. He's already up 1 game.
Yep.
We'll have to see. Brainstorming from Zach, still trying to find a way to stay in the game. I mean, Chris is sitting on one of the best spells that he could bring out of his board, in addition to 2 Swords to Plowshares. I just don't see many routes for Zach to actually navigate back into this.
Yeah, it's looking pretty tough, especially with Chris's double plow in hand too.
Exactly.
So I mean, Zach has to find 3 threats or 2 threats and some kind of counter spell.
I mean, he has ZP too, right? So
yeah.
He really has to find
Oh, is that ZP in his hand as well?
Plow ZP.
Okay. Wow, that's pretty heavy.
It's pretty heavy. Yeah, it might be locked up.
And there's a true name.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Chris now gets a threat of his own. If it resolves, then this game is looking pretty locked for Chris.
Yeah.
There's the first plow on Delver. We'll see. Chris is trying to bait out a counterspell, which is a smart play on his part, so
Absolutely.
that he can attempt to land this true name.
Absolutely. Yep. Very heads up by Chris.
And there's the true name. Zach is it's hard to tell what Zach's got in his hand over there, but it's looking bleak.
Yeah, not looking super great.
That's going to resolve. And we're seeing, so our first match of the day was Miracles Delver, and now we're seeing Bant Delver, and Delver struggled against these decks. So as much Blue-Red Delver is going around in the meta, it is still, it still can have the problems against these more grindier decks.
Yeah,
format.
absolutely.
And like, as a lone pilot, I feel quite favored in the matchup as well. So
yeah.
Because Delver thrives so much on the early game, and if you kind of flounder in the early game, you get so far set back.
Yep. Yeah, you don't have anything to protect with a bunch of your counter spells, right?
Yeah. There's a Pyromancer. That's another threat from Zach that's just going to get plowed here. And it doesn't look great on a board with True Name on it. Chris is going to fetch. Curious to see if he casts this plow into a daze, but he may not care. Zach's also representing Pierce, notably, if Chris wants to think about that.
Yep.
Or, probably doesn't bring Fluster in this matchup. Chris is just going to go ahead and plow this Pyro, giving Zach an opportunity to daze. Yep. I'm curious as to why Chris did that. There was really no reason to rush that. But
I think it's more just being very far ahead.
You can be mana efficient, but there's not really any reason to just not untap and play around the daze there.
I think it's pretty fair. It's pretty slim odds. I think it's just a risk, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
He probably figures he's ahead enough that it's like doesn't care that much about this Pyro, but but he is drawing lands now.
Yeah.
Although I guess you did mention he's got a ZP in his hand,
yes.
So this Pyro is probably
I don't think he's super worried as long as he can resolve the ZP.
But yeah, try hard. I think you're correct that there was no drawback to untapping.
Now we might see. Now we're going to see a decision. I mean, you still want to punch in here, right? Or are we just going to go for it now?
Yeah, I guess just clear the board. That's a little aggressive, but
indeed,
it does get the Pyro off the board, and he's going to clock him for 5 here if this resolves.
Yeah. Zach's got something, but I don't know what.
You know what I do like about Narset and Karn, though? If I have to say anything about them, which I don't like a lot of things about them, they've limited True Name quite a bit.
Yeah.
So it's been nice. Less True Name is a good thing.
I'm going to get in with both for the bonus points here. I think it evens out either way. I'm not entirely sure why you would still crack in with a Noble. But
why not?
I guess style points are a thing. Just really wanting to stun on him.
Yeah, try hard. I agree that I would have attacked and just held there, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it wasn't going to do a lot against Dreadhorde Arcanist. Although, it actually kind of does.
Kind of does. Makes it so that he can't cast a 1-drop. Right?
Interesting.
Chris, I didn't see what his draw for the turn is. We're going to find out.
Galaxy mana. Or Scooz mana. Yeah.
Yep. It's a great draw for Chris.
Yeah.
Like a real.
Wow.
Potentially the best draw in his deck.
Yeah, right. They have to target it, right? And then you can respond?
Yep.
Yeah. That seems solid.
Quite good against Arcanist.
Yeah, seems solid. All right.
And that's a scoop from Zach.
That's going to be scoop it up.
So a 2-0 win for Chris there on Bant Leovold against Delver. And we have about 22 minutes, so back a match?
Let me step up. We'll keep it on the match cam real quick. I'm going to step up and we'll take a look for a backup match.
Great. Awesome. How's it going, chat? I'm here. It's Lomer Boy representing in Seattle, in the flesh, in Card Kingdom, live on Monday night, bringing you guys some Legacy. We are in round 3. Jake is finding a backup match, so We'll be back ASAP with some more Legacy, hot Legacy action. I'm super stoked for Modern Horizons. I don't know about you guys, but it's a fun set. I've seen some articles and yeah, I've seen some articles and other stuff from people. I know Phil Gallagher did a video about going through all the playable cards in Modern Horizons, and I think a lot of people have settled on around 30 cards that could potentially see play in Legacy of varying power levels. So I think that's a lot from an expansion set. So it's interesting to be playing. Legacy is the only format I play, and it's interesting because it's just such a wide open format right now. More open than it's ever been, maybe, with War of the Spark and Modern Horizons and London Mulligan around the corner. Lots of new deck archetypes might come out. Some things might get banned. Some things might shift around. We'll see what happens. It's an exciting time to be a Magic player for sure, no matter how you slice it. Even if you don't like it, it is interesting.
That's what I like. That's hold up. You guys want to start your game on camera and play that?
I don't actually know if my deck is a playable Canadian Highlander deck.
It's really just better.
A bug in the 8-6 that I took 3 cards out of, so then 2 minutes point. Okay.
Yeah, it's good enough for me. Do it.
Sweet.
The Gurmag Angler is coming in.
Yeah, just get set up and start playing. Like we'll just chat till then.
Wait, Bear with 2 Guns, are you talking about my Cardboard Live extension? Because that's really weird. I don't even play Pauper.
All right, so we do not have Legacy available, but
Are we talking about Card Kingdom's Cardboard Live extension? I don't know what we're talking about there.
Oh yeah. So here's what happens. Bear with 2 Guns.
Oh, let Jake explain. I don't know the answer.
Somebody who doesn't work on the Legacy stream at all knows how to and has access to Cardboard Live. From what I can tell, nobody who works on the Legacy stream has access to Cardboard Live. So unfortunately, I don't think anybody who is present in the room can fix that. That said, I will certainly communicate to those in charge that this keeps happening, and hopefully they can get fixed. I don't know. Literally just acting as a volunteer down here. I would love to get Cardboard Live set up for the paper stream. I tried to talk about it. Seems like it's a little more complicated for a paper weekly than is worth doing, but hopefully at the 1Ks it's something that we can start to do. Yeah.
So we got a backup match?
We use Cardboard Live for the Pauper stream, and then we don't turn it off for the Monday stream. So, yeah, I don't even know. Yeah.
So what do we got?
Oh, we got Canadian Highlander. We just have some casual Canadian Highlander going on. And,
is that what's happening?
Yeah.
Okay.
I asked Tom Lynch and Chris Wessel to play on camera because nobody else wanted to play. So we're just going to have fun and watch some Canadian Highlander.
Well,
Christopher Wessel's deck was apparently an EDH deck that he modified because it had too many points.
Bug control and just ALD.
Nice. Canadian, all right. Highlander, shenanigans.
I know nothing about this format or decks or anything, so I'm going to leave you to.
It's kind of like EDH for cool people. There's a point system.
That's you have mental misstep. Okay.
You have 10 points to spend on cards that you can add to your deck, and cards are pointed in various. So each for the baseline is like a mox is 3 points. So if I want to have 3 moxes in my deck, I can't have a bunch of other cards because that's 9 points. So like I have to really want those 3 moxes, right? So it's really just like your deck is like a really sweet cube deck, basically. I don't even know how else to describe it. Like, it's an EDH deck, but there's no commander. It's all singleton. It's based around 20 life still, really powerful cards, powerful interactions. But the point system is kind of what keeps it balanced.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's pretty sweet. As you can see, there's bug control versus some blue-red. Tom said his deck was just shenanigans. I don't know exactly what that means. I think it's just trying to ramp and cast some stupid stuff. No idea what this card is. This is also the problem with me casting old formats or formats that I'm not familiar with. I'm really not like a lifetime Magic expert. I did not start playing at the beginning of the game. I have very bad card pool knowledge when it comes to the early cards. So we're just like kind of letting this rock. I do know that Tom has a bunch of mana and like whatever that little goblin dude is.
Is that a goblin welder, maybe? I can't
I
tell.
don't think that's a welder. Wessel looking up. Wessel getting nature's lore. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Good call. Oh, I don't even know. That's not even coming up in the picker.
It is a welder. Look
okay,
at that.
Old art welder.
Got him.
This must be this must be Highlander welder.
Gonna weld something or other from the graveyard to something. I don't know. It's got an artifact in there. It's a spell seeker. Chris's hand. That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, hey, that's in a singleton format, tutorable cards are pretty nice.
Yeah, you can test us, and I'll probably fail your test because I don't. I mean, I know everything in like the current formats, but like old cards that don't see play, I don't know.
Ooh, that's pretty sweet. You can find the Green Sun's in
That's an altered Green Sun too. It looks like.
Yeah, this is definitely the test casters on random cards. This is the put something on camera because no one playing Legacy wanted to be on camera. No one left playing Legacy, I should say, wanted to be on camera.
Yeah, it's the life of
yeah.
You know,
we're just trying to keep some interesting matches going.
Yeah.
And these two were happy to join in. They're just playing casual matches anyway. These are two of our local kind of Legacy heads. They're always grinding that match.
Yeah, Tom is a sneak and show aficionado.
Yep.
All he plays ever.
Yep. Qualified for
I've
the 1K.
lost to him many times because I play a deck that's garbage against sneak and show. So.
Yeah, it happens.
And Chris plays a variety of things: Grixis Control, Elves, Blue-Red Delver.
Looks like it got
other stuff.
Got an Abrade coming down from Tom Lynch on one of these proxied cards. Oh, and then just some sort of counter spell there. God, truly don't know so many of these cards.
Go use the restroom.
Yeah, go for it. I got you. All right. Got Connor stepping away from the booth here for a second, so it's just going to be me and y'all. Still not certain on what that one proxy is. Oh no, that's the oof. That's the new oof. These cats are playing with Modern Horizons cards, it looks like. So we do have the collector oof down there. Yeah, I just had to get a little closer to the screen to see that art. This is a pretty sweet bug deck from Chris Wessel here. He did say it was an EDH deck that he just swapped some cards out of to make his points legal. Is Spellseeker a wizard? I don't forget, but it should be in our picker. I think it's in our picker. God, I don't know. We need to get this thing up to date. It is. Nah, it is. Haha, there you go. Looks like that's a new one of those lands proxied up too, I think. The cycle lands. Oh, and that's the Riptide? Wow, that's pretty gross. There's some sweet stuff happening here. Ooh, Tasigur activations. Getting back. Which spell was that? Right. Oh, Swan Song, yeah. Wow. That's an engine right there. Alright, Tasigur goes sideways. Collector Oof is doing all the work here. And this bus deck is driving a bus straight to Value Town. It's true. This is a sweet one. Yeah, Tom's just going to scoop him up. He says that is too much for me. We'll put one up on the board for Chris, even though these are casual matches. Just if you guys are tuning in right now, this is some casual Canadian Highlander. We're just waiting on round 3 to end. We had a really fast one, followed by nobody wanting to be on camera for our backup match, which does happen. We will not force you to play on camera. If you are already playing or you don't want to, just say so. It's all good. Is this competitive EDH or Canadian Highlander? It is Highlander. Yeah, just try to put that in the deck names there. We don't really usually, this is, like I said, just between rounds. Good question, though. It is Highlander, my preferred singleton format. Not that I play a lot of them that often, ever. All right, well, there's a key. I know that. Turn with Deathrite for Christopher Wessel. Oh, I miss it. My heart. I just wish it was still around. That's a Candelabra. Oh my. Not a lot happening yet, though, for Tom Lynch. UC into DRS, the classic legacy start of 2018 right before. It's been almost 1 year since they banned Deathrite Shaman, I guess, or exactly 1 year. Yeah, more than 1 year. I keep forgetting that the April of last year was when we had our GP. Whoa, what is Tom doing here? Making a bunch of mana in order to activate? Is he going to make a bunch of mana in Candelabra to activate here? This seems pretty wild. What are we doing? It looks like he might have been 1 mana short or something like that. Oh, here we go. Maybe this is it. Floating 3 red. Throwing a bunch more mana. Gonna tap 2 more. Oh god, what is this card? What is even happening right now? I can hear Tom booing that from off camera. I don't know what card that is, I'm not gonna lie.
There we go.
I'm gonna get up and look because I don't even know what card that is. This spell Tom just tried to resolve there was the mass polymorph spell.
Ooh,
So
that's a Candelabra, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's hot.
Oh yeah. A lot of spicy stuff.
Tom has so many cards that are expensive.
Totally. Same could be said about you, my good sir.
I was about to say, I am not one to speak.
Yeah.
My collection is pretty absurd.
Pretty sure y'all are in the about the same category there.
My loam deck is probably more than a car. So,
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Certainly more than a Karn, as we reveal Karn on top of Tom Lynch's library.
I gotta come back here and play and get it on camera so I can like show the loam deck.
Yeah,
off
dude,
to the
come
people,
back on a Monday,
you know?
man. Yeah, I'll be playing next Monday. I think we got 2 others in the booth, so come on in. Yeah, that's 1 up for Tom Lynch, right? I think. I don't even know what just happened there. I think Chris just scooped him up. We're just keeping tabs for no reason at all.
Oh, were we?
I am.
Yeah, why not?
They're 1-1.
YOLO. We got 7 minutes left in round.
I like keeping tabs on casuals.
I mean, hey, I don't blame you. It's interesting. Yeah. Gotcha. I'm looking at the chat because I just got back from the restroom, and I gotta say, not Rip Deathrite Shaman. Don't care. So glad he's gone.
So much Rip Deathrite Shaman.
Such a plague on the format. God, I'm so glad that card is long gone. Yes. How could you like Deathrite? That card was everywhere. It was oppressive. Disgusting. People want to talk about Ren and 6 being a good Planeswalker. How about a 1-mana Planeswalker? Because that's what Deathrite was.
Mind Stone here into the Graptic's cage. Yeah, all right. I guess in a singleton format, you are just like, I'm going to main deck this hate.
I guess you have to, right?
Yeah.
If you're trying
Carpet
to
of
be
Flowers, I believe, for Chris Russell
competitive,
there,
which
yeah.
I mean, if I know Tom Lynch, he tries to be competitive. Carpet of Flowers. Is that what that is?
Yep.
That's a sweet card.
That is a very sweet card.
I need to play a deck that plays those. I have a couple.
It's like a Lurin.
Yeah. Allurin
Food Chain,
and
maybe.
Food Chain.
Yeah.
And
Those,
Nick Fit.
those
You
grind.
know what I?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you want to know if you want to talk about something? Oh, that is that expiration? Well, that's fine that's expiration. I still think Carpet of Flowers is a sweet card.
Oh, it is Exploration, yeah.
You know, we should talk about Bara, who is an
Oh, yeah.
excellent streamer, Mark Koenig.
Yeah.
He had some deck in the top 8 of the challenge, and I saw him stream this before the challenge a couple days prior.
Sure. What kind of deck
And
was it?
he plays a lot of Nick Fit, but he brews.
Yeah.
He's a very good deck builder.
Yeah.
And so he was playing this Nick Fit list, the typical Nick Fit, but it had 3 of the new Yawgmoth.
Oh, very cool.
The 4-mana
I think that card's very sweet.
That like sacks.
Yep.
So it's a sack outlet for Nick Fit.
Yep.
In addition to being like -1/-1 counters on stuff.
Yep.
And he was playing it alongside Marin.
Yeah. Yep.
Which gives you, it proliferates.
I could love that.
So Marin gives you more. It gives you more.
Wow.
Counters.
That's pretty incredible.
For Marin, yeah.
I forgot it proliferates.
Which is hype. Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
very cool. I
So
mean,
that deck is sick.
Marin and Nick Fit's a very sweet card.
Anything that Bara brews is sick. He's an excellent deck builder.
Yeah.
I like.
He's also won
envy
like
that guy.
SCG with Death and Taxes in the past
he's
too.
a great
So
player.
Yeah.
I've played against him online many times.
Very
and
cool.
I think I have a positive record against him somehow. But he's really a fantastic player, good guy, really good deck builder too.
Awesome.
And that deck was sick.
Yeah.
And I actually think that Yawgmoth might make that type of Nick Fit shell actually competitive rather than just being like Nick Fit, which is,
Nick Fit's, it's one of those shells where it's like, I feel like if more people actually put the time into Nick Fit, it could be competitive. It's not just held back by a lack of good cards. It's also held back by like not a lot of good reasons to play it.
Well, the main problem with Nick Fit is and has always been that it's bad versus combo, right? Like it crushes a lot of the fair decks, but like it has no tools against combo ever. So that's like still a problem, but
yeah, I mean you're a Cabal Therapy deck, but you have to guess right.
Yeah. I think it's like it's obviously well positioned in metas where there's a lot of fair decks. And,
yeah.
I mean, I guess Miracles is pretty good against Nick Fit too because like Force of Will, and counter spells and other stuff.
Wow, what do we got here? Oh, this is the Exiling 20. That's right. Yeah.
Ulamog doing stuff. And we got a Phyrexian Metamorph. That's a dope card.
Luckily, only 3 minutes left in the round.
Tom looks pretty ahead now.
Yeah, looks like we got
Pact
Christopher
of Negation?
losing to his own Pact of Negation.
Nice, I've done that.
Taking the
a few
gentleman's way
I've
out.
done that unintentionally a few times. I used to play Ad Nauseam in Modern for years.
Yeah.
I certainly, when I started playing that deck, I lost to my own pack trigger
A couple
more
times.
than once.
Yeah.
It was embarrassing.
Yeah, well.
I don't like Deathrite Shaman. I don't know, maybe Jake does.
I played it. It helped me play decks that I liked to play in Legacy. It just also happened to be in the best deck. Yeah, controversial card. I think it's fine, except for the fact that all the
It's not fine. There was nothing fine about that card.
There was a lot fine. I mean, the reason that card was the best card in the format wasn't because it was it was because you could play it with Brainstorm. It was because you could play it with a UC. Like,
I know.
Yeah, so
Well, that's stupid.
It's like
It was a dumb
I don't
thing.
know. The decks that played Deathrite Shaman that did not play UC, I don't think those decks did anything busted or anything like egregious or gross with the format.
Yeah, but the ones that played UC did, because you could turn to True Name, and it's also like just a graveyard hate card on a stick, and then it has like a win condition by itself, and it gains you. I mean, it just does everything. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's they banned
I'm
it.
personally glad it's gone.
You know what I think? I don't think anybody's feelings about the card matter because it's banned.
You know what? That's fair.
That's where I like to sit.
That's a fair assessment.
Yeah.
It doesn't
QC
matter
said,
because
we played
it's
it
not
we
in the
didn't
format.
have a choice.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Looks like we do have round results in. We should be getting started pretty shortly as Tom and Chris got back up. So we'll bring y'all back to the booth here. Hello, everybody.
We're back.
Welcome back. We have one more round of Legacy action tonight that should be coming to you shortly.
Very shortly.
Very shortly. We have been adjusting our little backdrop on the fly as we've been getting up. So thanks you guys for bearing with the just the kind of randomness of the production.
Yeah, as always.
Sleepy Monday night. We love you guys for watching Legacy with us. We bring it to you just because we love to put 4 rounds of Legacy action out into the world every Monday.
And we like hanging out. Jake
Yeah.
and I have been friends for years. So.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, we are friends outside of casting together.
Yeah.
I roped Connor into casting for us a little bit, so
Yeah.
it was good.
Which is great. I enjoy it. I like being here.
Heck yeah, man. We love it. So if you guys like, just continue to watch. Just continue to tell your friends to watch. Really, just tune in on Mondays. That's all we can ask. We love you guys. Waiting on that ground results. Waiting on the laser printer. But yeah, we'll get a spicy round 4. And
What
then
happened
we'll be
last
back.
round?
What
Well,
happened
we
last
had
round?
Bant Leovold versus
Yeah.
Blue Red Delver.
Yeah, we had a very quick. We had Bant Splash Leovold versus Blue Red. It was 1 in 2 games, and then just couldn't find a backup match in time. We had a couple people in progress, but as always, I like to clarify to viewers, we don't really force anyone to play on camera here. So I asked 2 different matches if they wanted to switch over to camera. They both declined, and we put some Canadian Highlander on for yucks, for chuckles instead, and it was fun to watch for a little bit. You know, something we used to do more back in the day when the stream first started, I think, was
Casual
if we
stuff.
couldn't find a backup match, yeah, in the event that you couldn't find a backup match, we always had like either vintage or like Canadian Highlander, 93, 94. A lot of players here will bring decks to play between game formats or between format games.
I used to play all that, but
yeah,
then I stopped.
I mean, I don't really do a lot of
It's too much
that
too
either.
much to keep up with, man.
It's a lot to keep up with.
I have a hard enough
it's a lot to
time
keep up
staying on top of Legacy, let alone Modern and Standard and EDH and Vintage and everything
Yeah.
else. So.
Yeah,
Popper.
no, for sure. I do think I do like
harder.
casual formats. Like I would love to just like have. I mean, I proxied a Canadian Highlander deck just so I can play it between rounds. Like I don't ever really care to like register for a tournament.
Yeah.
But it is fun to just like have something. But even then, it's like it's hard to find the balance between not caring about your deck and then constantly keeping up with the format in order to modify your deck.
Yeah, I used to play a bunch of formats too.
Yep.
So
yeah, keeping up with Standard is definitely wild. I do think that it's cool that you can just play Arena for Standard if you want to. I think Modern is, it's fine. I think in the past year or so, I just haven't been interested in playing the kind of decks or games that Modern
I honestly, I haven't had fun with Modern since they banned Splinter Twin. That's my own bias, but I felt like it's just been a downhill trek since then.
Nah, I think it's a lot more of these recent cards.
Well, that too, yeah, but
Faithless Looting was legal in Modern for a long time before it was the best card in Modern.
I just want them to unban Splinter Twin. I mean, I don't even think it'd be good in Modern right now.
Nah,
it would just be a bad deck.
It's just no, it's the same. It's a Modern deck. It's a deck that if you don't beat it by turn 4, you lose. That's a Modern deck. That's every Modern deck. Splinter Twin is the same as every other Modern deck.
I don't agree.
I know you don't, but that's because you played it, and that's because you weren't the one losing on turn 4.
That's true.
You were the one winning.
That's true.
All right.
What do we got?
Ooh, hey, how is the Sneak and Show Burn matchup? It's probably bad for Burn.
Probably.
Jace Kim versus Lauren Mulligan would be nice if they're cool. Oh, that's actually Burn versus Lands too. Wow, so Burn is at the top tables tonight, y'all, which does make sense.
Wait, what's Jason Wong on?
Let's get Jason and Lee. Yeah,
Pox
table
Post.
4. I think that'll be cool.
Yeah.
Sorry. I don't have my favorite. Thank you.
Thank you. So yeah, that'll be Jason Wong versus Lee Win.
Oh, my homie XJ Cloud with the host. Thanks for hosting.
Oh wow,
man.
that's really cool, man. Yeah, I know that. I don't know him, but I see that name.
Yeah, he's a good D&T streamer.
All up in that Death and Taxes server.
Super nice human.
Yeah, good
thanks
stuff.
Thanks for the host, guys.
All right, so let's see. Here's Jason and Lee. Swap players should be on those sides. Jason Wong. What did we say he was? Oh yeah, Pox, which is pretty sweet. got some new toys recently as well. Less shown. Averse to showing Burn because it will be over in 2 seconds, and this is our last
Yeah.
match of the night.
So we like more
in all
interesting
honesty,
things.
I would be happy to show Burn. I just want to give you guys like a
A
little,
little
bit,
more
a little bit of a
interesting
show.
time.
Yeah.
How was the stream, XJ? What was the record? You 5-0, 4-1, 3-2?
Lean win. Jay's I can't. Karn post. That's what I'm calling this now. Save. All right, let's take it out of the match for the end of round 4. We're gonna update the overlay. We're gonna get the clock going. 49, 49. End of round 4. Start. Sweet. We're off to the races for the last match of the night. Lean Win and Jason Wong. Lee is a occasional commentator for us here in the booth and constant Eldrazi / colorless player in the community. He's all over those new Karns. He's got a lot of gross stuff to come show you.
Yeah. So many Eldrazi, so many Karns, so much post. I like when post is in the format because I think it's a good balance to the control decks.
Totally, yeah.
And I mean, post is not, it's nice about Wasteland in the format is it makes things like post never be oppressive. Right?
I was more fine with post decks before they became Karn Lattice decks.
Well, same.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Really
I don't like Karn or Narset in the format at all.
I think Karn Lattice is just bad. It's just bad. They just need to get rid of it.
It's bad.
Yeah, it's just like, why even let people do that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like they wanted to just see for whatever reason.
I agree that it takes work, but it's just so like...
It's just a dumb way to end the game.
Exactly,
it's
yeah.
Like, yeah, you're done playing Magic, I guess.
It's like, I just think if I were in charge of of the design of Magic, I would not want that existing in the space.
Also, I don't think that Wizards printing these cards that are one-sided is a very good idea. Like Narset and Karn being one-sided effects.
Teferi as well.
Yeah, it's just it's so I don't know.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Ooh, some powerful cards in Jason Wong's hand.
I miss the days when sets would release and we'd get 2 cards for Legacy rather than 37.
Yep.
I miss those days.
It's definitely yes. I know what you mean. Yeah, right now a lot of the people are actually finding what's it called? We were just discussing it yesterday. It's the rock that turns things into an artifact.
Oh, yeah, coating.
Liquid metal coating.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, chat. Thank you, Connor.
Yep.
Liquid metal coating. A lot of people are finding coating, which does let you immediately start nuking their lands every turn if you want to.
Yeah, pretty dumb.
Yeah. Whoa, notably a Dread Horde cohort. Dread Horde cohort. Is that what that is?
I guess.
Yeah. So this is the new Bitter Blossom. It amasses.
Oh, this card.
Yes.
Yep.
Now, the thing that's notably cool about this is obviously it's only one body. Bitter Blossom's making bodies come out every turn. But once that one gets to, I believe, 6 power, the enchantment will then give it lifelink on attacks. So as long as you get a crack in with lifelink once, it's really easy to prolong the game, even if they deal with the zombie. You just keep going. So this seems to be the plan for the Pox deck here.
I found it really interesting on that turn. So during that turn, Lee had a tapped City of Traders and a Grim Monolith, and Jason played a Wasteland and passed. And so I'm wondering why Jason didn't just waste the city. I mean, I know it's bad value, but now you get Lee casting an All's Dust.
Exactly. I think you should have. I think it was I think you just have to take your bullet there, and you just don't want your opponent.
You always waste the post deck, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think this might have just been a minor. Sometimes you wanna see how much value you can get.
I mean, I think I know what Jason was thinking.
Exactly,
He's like, I don't want to waste the city, right? But
I mean, even chat's talking through it right here, right? We all kind of know exactly, I think, how he talked himself through the line right there, and this is what happens when you don't do it.
Yeah.
This is the clear-cut case, right?
Yep.
Remember, that was my first GP was Wasteland Carl. I was very bad at Legacy. That was the guy on guy who missed a Wasteland trigger on camera, and everyone was screaming at him to Wasteland in chat. Not a trigger, but just he missed Wasteland using his Wasteland.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty funny.
I was not around for that, I guess.
Yeah, I think this is when you were back in Texas. Yeah, that was a pretty legendary.
Jason's still choosing to not Wasteland here, which is I just don't quite understand.
It's getting a little crazy.
Maybe he's like, I want to cast my spell. I don't know. I really don't get it. Because now here's what, an Embringer from Lee?
It's the one that reveals lands.
Oh,
Oblivion
Sower. Oof. So this looks like Eldrazi Post and not Karn Post, actually.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. Lee's still on that route.
Chat pointing that Jason may be. Well, I know he has Karns. I think Leah's just messing with some of the flex slots here.
Sure. I guess, yeah, he was afraid of the Trinisphere and not being able to cast stuff. What is he doing with.
Excuse me.
Oh, he wasted the. I guess? Yeah. Interesting. I feel like Jason's already been punished for the lack of Wasteland on the city there.
Yeah, definitely.
So.
Yeah, this is looking pretty locked up for a game 1 here. I guess Jason does have some edicts in his deck. But, but Lee even has the backup land here. Lee has
the factory. So.
Yeah, he can activate and sack. So even that's not going to be super great.
Any Modern Horizons cards? Modern Horizons is not yet legal in paper, and it won't be until the 14th. So no.
It really doesn't. It really doesn't help that they release it early online. It's so confusing.
It is
for
weird. It is confusing.
I don't blame anyone. I don't blame anyone for thinking that they would be legal.
You should not. Yeah, I mean, it's a reasonable question to ask.
I think so. Yeah, it is crazy to me that it's like a full 2 weeks early.
Yeah.
But yeah, online just gets to play with those cards for 2 weeks before we do.
Yep.
That's fine.
But on next Monday, you will see Modern Horizons potentially on the table. So, more reason to tune in.
Yeah, definitely. I think we'll definitely have some players trying to bust out the new cards. I'll be packing some Ren and 6s, I think, to get some practice in.
Yeah, I won't be able to go this next Monday, but maybe the Monday after. There's an Ulamog, so that's that.
That'll do it for game 1.
Lee takes game 1.
We'll see what. I feel like the Pox deck should have some play against this card deck. It just has to get.
It should, right? Wastelands,
well,
you get turn 1 Lilies.
I suppose that it did. I suppose that we would have seen a different game had Jason used the waste right away.
Yeah.
It would have put Lee a turn behind on the thing.
So you gonna take the Loam list out the next week with Ren? Is that the plan?
I'm just going to practice it when I'm not playing in big tournaments.
Yeah.
Until I feel comfortable to play in a big tournament, which will probably just be the end of the month. I'll probably try to play it on the 29th, the weekend.
I think so.
Spoiler alert. Yeah. I don't have a lot riding. I'm not really. I haven't been competing very hard lately, so I can't really. I can't expect a lot out of myself.
Yeah,
because I don't feel like I'm in practice. I don't feel like I've been actually putting brain power into Legacy beyond streaming.
Yeah, well, I took 2 months off until recently, so like I'm right there with you. But trying to pick it back up.
Try to figure out what I'm going to play in this MCQ of the weekend. I think it's just going to be like Death and Taxes, potentially Maverick. I really just have to decide between the two for the day.
Well, it depends. Like
I feel like they kind of are both in the same, roughly in the same position.
Maverick's a little better position, but it's like kind of close. I don't know. I don't think either of them are very good right now, post Horizons especially.
I just have to play what I know.
But, I mean, Death and Taxes players are always going to play the deck. Maverick players are always going to play the deck. They're competitive decks, especially if you know what you're doing. So it's not like they're bad choices.
No, exactly. You try to hope to get your edges elsewhere.
Yeah.
LPS is 629, so that's going to be after the GP weekend. We got quite a few weekends coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the GP too.
Yeah.
Well, I'm playing in the MCQ on that.
Yeah. So we have this next weekend. There's actually no Legacy, but there is a modern event that the prize of which is duels, which is crazy.
Oh dang.
QC thinks Maverick's excellent post Horizons. All right, I'll buy you on that. What are you getting out of QC? What are you getting out? Are you just getting the oof? I do like Plague Engineer.
Oh, I don't play the Black Maverick version, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, to me they're not very different. They're just kind of like, which matchups do you want to be better prepared for, I suppose.
Yeah, I also am of the opinion that I think that card is overrated, but that's just
Oh,
me.
the Plague Engineer?
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see. I don't even know, man.
It's like, why wouldn't you play Toxic Deluge anyway?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you get a 2/2 Death Toucher, right?
I think
that's
it's like
something,
I think
but-
it's really cool in a deck that could tutor it, but I don't know what many good decks there are.
If it was black green, I'd be all about it.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's not.
If it was
so.
black green, I'd be all about it as well. This is a
No,
6 point table for the night.
I realized that I should have been specific. I wasn't specifically talking about Maverick. I mean, I realize you can't play Deluge in a Maverick deck, but
I played Deluge in Maverick because it's just great against True Name Nemesis. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Like I've definitely deluged with some knights on board and been just fine.
I just don't like that Plague Engineer hits one creature type.
Yeah.
So like it's never gonna wrath your opponent's entire board, which
Yeah,
is what you
it's
want
really-
it for, right?
I think you want it because like I don't even know. I don't know. Maybe you don't want it. Maybe Elves
I don't
is
know.
like
I don't know. I don't play Maverick with black. I play the Dan Neely green white special, so I don't know.
yeah. I mean, again, like the lists aren't truly that different.
Yeah. There's a Thoughtseize from Jason back to this match. He's gonna take triple Spyglass. Is that what that is from Lee? Ugin, Thrawn Dynamo, Blast Zone, and Post. Takes something. That's a lot of Spyglasses.
Yeah.
Lee really doesn't want to lose to Wasteland. He's like, nah, I got 3 Spyglasses for you.
Yeah, he's just prepared to go long here, really long.
He's gonna take the Thrawn Dynamo, it looks like.
That seemed reasonable to me.
Yeah, take the Mana Source. That's what I would do.
I mean, I guess taking the Ugin's kind of juicy, but like
I wouldn't take
he's
the
gonna
Ugin.
top deck more of them, right?
Although Pox doesn't have a clock ever, so
exactly, so it's hard. Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, also, yeah, you're not nearly as scared. I'm always scared of Ugin because I play decks that like
Yeah.
auto lose to Ugin.
Yeah, I
but
don't
yeah,
really
Pox
care
does
about
not.
There's a Wasteland. Is he going to use it?
Nope. Interesting.
I
I'm
just
not
don't
sure.
quite
I'm
understand.
not sure I like it.
But
yeah.
but it's fine.
Well, now he's going to get a little bit of equity. He's going to be able to at least
Play this Chalice on one. That's a
Okay.
card.
Well, that's a draw for sure.
Yep, and he wouldn't have been able to do that had Jason wasted. And
Yep.
Jason knew that he only had the zone in hand.
Yeah.
Now I guess he wanted to waste the blast zone, but
I guess that's why.
I don't know. I mean,
Didn't expect the Chalice on one though.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to that, Great Whaler. I couldn't tell you.
I mean, could just be new to the deck, trying it out, not
New to the
adapt-
matchup,
you know?
perhaps? I don't know.
We do have this sweet little zombie coming into play.
I mean, I shouldn't judge. I was at a place where I would do the same thing back in the day.
Looks like that's just a Bojuka bug. Yeah, okay. And a G-Take going to hit the battlefield. Try to close things out real
That's
quick.
a card. A card that has text. Lee is stuck on mana now.
Yeah,
So
yeah, not
so
able to hit the second land.
It's working out for Jason here.
This is going to be pretty nice. He's going to be able to crack in for 4, activating and swing and equipping with G-Take. Or just playing something else.
Lily?
Liliana,
Yeah.
yeah, seems good. Let's get that. Let's get her out first. Discarded an extra Urborg and just crack in for 2.
Wasteland is sometimes a land, but not in this matchup.
Yeah.
Lee is scooping it up, partially for time's sake, partially because he didn't draw lands. So now we're going to a game 3. And that is the game that Pox has in this matchup, being able to waste your opponent off lands. And Lee kept a triple Spyglass hand for Wasteland, but he never drew the lands to cast it.
Yep.
So.
Yep. And I think that's what you got to do in that deck as well, especially like being up a game and knowing that if you can land one of those, it's going to be really effective in drawing the game out.
Yep.
Yeah, it just didn't line up, and that's totally what happens.
I've talked to Lee a lot about Post and what he thinks about it, and I mean, he always has acknowledged to me that he knows how bad it is against Wasteland. So.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Every deck in Legacy has a weakness, right?
Yeah.
Every deck
Yeah.
is going to have a really bad matchup.
Yeah.
Like, you never want to play against Sneak and Show. Lee never wants to play against Wasteland decks.
Yep.
Every deck, there's no deck that's going to have.
Well,
every base
I mean, if my
even Miracles is going to hate playing against like Burn, you know,
If my primary enemy is omniscience, then Lee's primary enemy is life alone.
exactly.
Right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So it does keep the format in check. You know, we'll see where it settles. But thus far, everything's still just been kind of like
Ooh, contamination. That is spice. I love that card.
Contamination's pretty sweet.
D&T is definitely
It's
medium now, more
yeah.
medium now than it was a while ago, but
It's always
still
kind of
fine.
50%, I say.
I think it was really good up until WAR. It was actually like maybe the best deck in the format, and then WAR came out, and now it's not. It's just how it goes.
Yeah.
Lee's gonna mull. Looks like Jason is gonna keep. Lee does not want to have another hand that doesn't have lands. I didn't actually see what his hand was, but I assume that's why he's taking a mull here.
Yeah, it sounds about right. Oh, Jason is up a game as well. Get our score adjusted here. Thank you guys for tuning in. This might be a quick game 3 regardless.
Yep.
30 minutes left in the round, but we will not have a backup match. This is the last round of the night.
Yep.
Lee sees 5. Is that 5 or 6? It's 5? 6.
Thanks for joining as always, though. I enjoy being here.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
It's a good time hanging out with chat, casting some Legacy. I like working on that skill of casting. You know, like getting that under my belt.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
you do a little bit of solo streaming yourself, so it's
Yeah,
always nice
yeah,
to
yeah.
flex the talking muscles.
Mm.
All right, Chalice on 1 coming down for Lee. Pretty good, but Jason does have a lot of devastating 2-mana spells, like Hymn to Turak.
That seems good.
Oh man, I miss casting that card. I really do.
I don't know that I've ever cast it Ariel.
I bet you would like it.
I'm sure I would.
It's an unfair not blue card, so
Yeah.
it feels great to cast. All right, those are two pretty good lands. Yeah.
That's probably what Lee didn't want to have happen.
Yep. Especially one of them being Glimmer Post. There's another one, or that's
There's Cloud Post.
That's Cloud Post.
Yep.
Yeah, I always
Tap.
think I have the arts in the right order. Like I always think I get the arts right, and then I get them wrong. It's so tricky. All right, here's the Wasteland. Let's see if Jason knows what to do here.
He's gonna use it.
But which land is the question? Blast Zone or Cloud Post?
I got the right one. Correct choice.
Blast Zone's really mana intensive anyway.
Yeah, you're not gonna activate it.
Yeah.
Oh,
here we go. All right, pretty good.
Lee is in the cellar now.
Yeah, Smallpox. Both these players are going to sack lands and discard cards. Oh, that's an Elder Spell. Nice.
Hey, that's some tech. You know what? I like that out of Pox.
Pretty sweet, right?
Why not?
Yeah.
Like you
great
have
great
all
spell.
black mana.
Yeah,
like
it's
I
great.
mean, it's
pretty much the only deck that the
the card
spell
works
fits
for it.
in.
Yeah. I feel like Pox got a lot too out of the set. Not that it's really very good, but it did get quite a few cards to play. That's a Spyglass from Lee. He's going to look at a hand and pick the Lily.
Yeah, seems reasonable. But the damage is already done for Jason Wong. He's going to start cracking in with this Mishra.
Well, he's got this Bitter Blossom type effect, and then the factory, and Lee has nothing going on currently. So, but I mean, Lee has a deck filled with powerful answers. Ooh. There's a Wasteland off the top.
Wow.
Now Lee is in the cellar.
Yeah, just going to keep Lee on the back foot here.
Even more in the cellar than he was. And does he have another land? It's
Chalice on 0. Why not, says Lee. He's just having fun at this point.
Yep.
He knows he's never going to cast it for 2.
This seems like not the best matchup for Post.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, Wastelands plus Hand Disruption.
Yeah.
Ooh, both of these in effect here.
Oh, man. Dual Bitter Blossom.
So I actually really love this combo. As I mentioned, like, the Bitter Blossom's just going to stop mattering once he swings with the lifelinking zombie. And so, like, together, these are actually very, very complementary for each other. You're going to get a 3/3 zombie and a 1/1.
Yeah, I feel like that's a lot more pressure than I'm used to seeing from Pox.
Exactly,
because Pox normally just sits around with their whatever thing that comes back from the graveyard.
Basically, yeah, just Mishras or like a Nether Spirit. Yeah, Nether Spirit. But here we're cracking in for 5. So all of a sudden it's like, yeah, this is going to get done quick.
And that's it.
Yeah,
so Jason
knows the writing's on the wall.
Jason takes the post-board games, and that's the match.
That is it. All right. 7 Life will pull you through on Bitter Blossom. Thanks very much, you guys, for tuning in tonight.
Indeed,
That
indeed.
was 4 rounds of Legacy. It went
It
by
was.
so quick. 9:47 p.m. up here in the Pacific
Much quick.
Northwest. Let's see. There is a LPS 1K coming up at the very end of the month. That won't be till June 29th. Be sure to check out Thursdays on this very same channel for Modern, streamed from over at Bellevue. We'll be back here on Monday. We'll have some other casters. We'll have Modern Horizons cards coming up. And then the week after that, we have a Grand Prix up in Seattle.
Yeah.
So I think we'll have streaming on the Monday after the Grand Prix, obviously. But other than that, like keep an eye out for that. There might not be coverage at all now that I think about it.
I don't know.
But come out to Seattle and play some Legacy with us on the weekend. There's a MCQ and there'll be side events all weekend. It's not a Legacy Grand Prix like we wish it was, but there will be a lot of big Legacy representation out there.
Yeah, and I'll be playing in some tournaments this month. And shameless self-plug, if you want to follow, I stream on Twitch.
Yep.
Twitch.tv/Lomer I play a lot of Legacy.
Connor streams under the Lomer Boy.
Yeah. Mostly Loam streaming, but Death Attacks is Maverick.
Yeah.
Also, so yeah.
So other than that, thank you guys for joining us. Have a great night. We love Legacy. We love you, and we will see you all next week. Goodbye.